maybe just trying to get Nick a little bit out of the congestion to start with. And with Dan Houston down out today, we just feel like we need someone like Nick down back. But I think they might have a bit of a dual role.
And Sarong, who's had limited impact when he's been tagged a couple of times in the past 4 weeks, have you got a plan installed?
We got a plan for him. We don't tend to tag as a traditional thing, but we got a bit of a plan for him. Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us on Fox Footy. Always great to see you. Best of luck, big crowd in today. They've got Bo McCreary and Brodie Mychek back, two of their blue-collar workers. They're going to get to work today, Gaz.
They will. I mean, it's lovely to see them coming back, and they've been able to manage. They've had McCreary's off a hamstring, of course, but this bloke Sarong has been outstanding. I don't think he gets as much credit as he would if he was in Victoria. That's okay. But he's had an outstanding year, Geordie, but he has been quelled a little when he's been sat on in the past month or so. Not, as Craig just said, they're not a big tagging team, but they've got to put some work into him.
That's the challenge. I think even from Caleb's point of view, I mean, he's an inside mid. That's his one more. That's what he does. So does he try and develop a secondary position or an outside game to complement the inside game so far? But he'd be one player he'd be looking at because he hasn't impacted the game as he would, having been tagged.
Real buzz here at the MCG. The first bounce is coming up next, and we have two of the best callers in the game to call all the action. Dwayne Russell and Matt Hell to lead our team today. Superstars everywhere you look. This is the Sunday Ticket on
Hey, welcome in everyone. Sunday football, the big match is here. It's upon us 2 minutes before this game gets underway. Of course, the mighty Collingwood Football Club taking on the Fremantle Dockers. Addy's team. Go Pies. $3 they are, the Dockers. Of course, the Magpies a little bit shorter. I think they're about $1.35. Should be a fantastic game here at the MCG. Looks like a pretty good day here. Blue skies, a bit of cloud in the sky. Always a little bit of breeze. So at the MCG, that's normal. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a cracking game. I expect it to be a reasonably good crowd there. These are one of the games. Oh, you're looking at the crowd? Yeah, probably about 60,000 there at the MCG right at the moment. Hey, let's just have a quick look at the ins and outs for both of these teams. Before we get underway. For the mighty Magpies, we've got a few changes here coming in. Charlie Dean, Patrick Lipinski, Brody Myercheck, Edward Allen, Bo McCreary. Big ins coming in, going out though, some big outs. Jeremy Howe, Dan Houston, Tim Membry, Tom Mitchell, Rowan Steele. I tell you what, there's some big ins, there's some big outs. For the Fremantle Dockers, Hayden Young comes in. Isaiah Dudley, the little magic man, he's going out for the Dockers today. I don't know why they drop him. Of course, the milestone game is Sam Swiskowski, 100 games for the Fremantle Dockers. Well done to him. Well done, well done. All right, let's just head it back over. Let me just reload that up so that is set for after. All right, let's put it back there. There we go. We've got about 21 seconds. Let me just reload that. Get it up and running. There, that's better. Now we've got the Magpies and the Dockers in picture. And, of course, we've got the beautiful worm here, which is going to show the Magpies creeping up this way to the lead. Isn't that right, Addy G? Hey, Zane, how you going? I'm so happy Richmond won yesterday by a big... I tell you what, Richmond were pretty good yesterday. They're an up-and-coming side. The young Tiger team, I think in the next season or two, they're certainly going to... They're certainly going to climb the ladder, the Tigers. They got a good way they play. They certainly did well and absolutely crunched the West Coast yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I agree, Zane. I agree. They're going to crunch the Dockers. Anyway, hey, that's enough of me. Let's head down to the bounce for the opening quarter.
Very kind. These two sides played a good game earlier in the year. 14 points the margin. Collingwood won and they drew last year. So in the middle of the G, it was one down by Cameron, but Sarong off a step. Switkowski with the opening grab at centre half forward for the Dockers. So Switkowski looking further afield. He ignores the lead initially from Tracy, but then finds the lead of Voss.
So a couple of really significant early things. Switkowski's coming off 10 coaches votes last year. He talked to Fremantle inside, as they say, is absolutely critical to their fortunes going forward. They started Amos and Tracy in the goal square together, and then Voss as the roaming third tall. They got Jackson playing as a ruck rover and Darcy in the ruck. They are stacked in the big tall timber department.
So it's 15 degrees in Melbourne, sunny conditions and barely a breath of wind across the MCG as Patrick Voss kicks to the punt road end for the first score of the match and hits the post.
Well, the other one, Gaz, was Nick Dacos at half-back, which we heard Craig McRae tell us prior to the game. So Josh Dacos in the middle, Nick Dacos at half-back.
Here is Nick, entrusted with the kick in. Cameron, McStay, both there. McStay flies, fist away though by Cox toward the boundary.
I love that. That's coaching, that's management. It's just a bit sore. The champion's been a bit sore and battered through the middle of the ground. Let your brother go in and do some heavy lifting, and you can go off the half-back where it's a touch easier. And Ian Pendlebury now setting up defensive side.
Cameron and Darcy to go at it again. They tie up. Cameron nearly ripped out of the air, and there's the rover. Jackson gave it off.
It's not like he's bludging at half-back either, by the way, Nick Dacos. The match-up for him right now is Shea Bolton. So he needs his wits about him.
Rucks go at it. Brayshaw, Josh Dacos can't get free of Sarong.
And he'll probably get drawn up to the contest anyway. I think we understand that a lot of sides send up a high half forward. So he'll either be spare or just sitting off the stoppage as a sweeper.
Jackson, grabbed by McCreary, bobbled out. Sarong, hurried kick, another entry inside 50, but it was Quaynor in the right spot.
And 50.
He didn't get out quick enough. He was warned by the umpire, Bolton. But this will be a challenge to try and create some delay here from Fremantle. You just see the run and carry off half back. Here they go.
Yeah, give it to Nick. Not a bad option. It's long, Elliott. Got up there. Couldn't quite bring the mark down. An early leap, and he's landed heavily.
Lofty takeoffs, I reckon. That's got nightmare written all over.
check. He's got 2. They might rest him more often.
Pressure for Collingwood is that they wear it with a badge. You watch as this game rolls on, their front half, they almost challenge each other as a forward 6 or 7 to see who can put the most pressure on. And then Quainer matches it in the back half to set this up. So the contest is genuine, and then they just go to work after that. Ground ball, deft touch from my check to Sullivan to get it back, and then the goal. So it's a terrific start. They got Fremantle on the back foot, which is exactly where they want them in the hostile territory. Now it's up to the Dockers to respond, Geordie.
I think the pleasing thing from my check, you can just see there, he's highlighted the recovery. So not only the contest, the second effort, and then the unbelievable finish goal there, but forward momentum, little tap-ons.
Nick Dacos comes straight back on, goes straight into the middle, and now Wagner goes to him. So that's what they would have been planning for and what you would expect. Josh Dacos goes to the half-back line.
So a real early test for the Dockers here. Finals like atmosphere, 60, 65,000 in the house at least. O'Meara gets it to Johnson, but Pendlebury and Crisp grab him in a standing tackle.
So I said there 103 tackles for Freo last week, and it looks like Collingwood said, right, we'll show you how to tackle. Their mindset is absolutely spot on here.
Darcy foraging for it, picked it up quickly to O'Meara. Dumps a wobbly one towards 50. Tracy and Voss at the back. Sat up for Voss. He's going to try and tumble it through. And he does. Clever. Patrick Voss with the first for the Dockers, and it's a quick reply.
Well, it was just great work around the midfield. So secondary stoppage, bounced out from the centre bounce, and they got themselves to work. Switkowski came up as the half forward. So they're fighting one down. But those messy kicks out of congestion, which make it really hard to defend and hard to predict, got over the back and really to that space. I mean, I think this is what it's going to take today. Fremantle are going to try and kick a winning score when they're fighting one down their forward half. You need some brilliance, and that of Voss on that occasion.
And they're set up with 3 tools, so they will go long and high in the air, but the ball on the ground worries Collingwood's back 6 as much as anything, I think.
Yep.
And there's another example of it.
One of 11 Victorians in the Fremantle team today, Patrick Voss.
He was aggressive last week as well, Voss, in the game against the Hawks.
Oh, they got them all down there. The prancing pony, the unicorn, the big kahuna. Got plenty of options down there, Fremantle. And they're on the board. O'Driscoll, Clark. Having an outstanding year to set this up. O'Meara shrugs a tackle. Back to O'Driscoll. Weaves his way past them. Wagner couldn't handle it. McCreary does. Darcy half had him. Flicked it up. Perryman bangs it long. Options are plenty. No one can bring the mark down though. Clark again. McDonald. Little slip by Ryan. Danced out of a jam nicely. Floats one. A little too wide though for Voss. Free kick coming.
So 9 defensive half chains. So 9 times they've got out and gone inside 50 once. The Magpies have had 7 forward half intercepts, Geordie.
Yeah, just overusing the ball, Fremantle by hand. I'd like to see more kicks, even if it is kick to a 2v1 down the line.
So Moore directs the traffic to the hot spot. McStay almost pushed out of it. In fact, he was pushed out of it. O'Meara tries to get it to Wagner. Nick Dacos intercepts. And just tries to gift it to Myercheck, and then quick hands. Allen, that might work. McStay spoiled. Gets another chance. Swings round the corner.
He's lucky there, Ryan. Just didn't turn his head. McStay ducked out the back. Yeah, I think if you're Fremantle right now and you're Justin Longmuir, you want more kicks, especially clear in the area where Collingwood have been so good at that pressuring the ball carrier.
Well, they just can't get out at the moment.
So tapping to Darcy's been set on his backside by Cox.
Switkowski's tried to get the Cox. I'm not sure it was an accident. We'll have a look at it.
Mason gets up there, got a hand on it, got an arm chop free. It's a long arm. And to stop him, it takes some chopping. Just bullets one. Hoping for McStay, got there to spill it. Crisp. McCreary hits a good spot with that kick. Sullivan goes up, floats in. Ryan under the heat. Rolled. Crocodile rolled in the tackle. Umpire said no prior.
Press is extraordinary, especially forward half pressure. Fremantle can't find a mark to really compose.
6 tackles in their front 50 already, Geordie.
Darcy and McStay go at it. Hurried one from Johnson. Pies have some numbers here. Perryman flew. Josh Dacos held his ground and the mark.
So this is the early story of this match. There's just off the ball. I think there's a hell of a lot in that with Cox and Darcy. This is the story so far, is that the ball goes inside forward 50, 11 insides to 4, and then Fremantle just can't get it out. So they're tackling pressure inside their front half. 6 forward 50 tackles inside the first 16 minutes of the game.
He's going to kick the 3 this year, Josh Dacos. And the kick was smothered, got too far into the man on the mark looking for distance. Switkowski out to Reid, who was grabbed by Schultz. It was ferocious work. And Dacos back to Schultz. Tight roping the boundary. Perryman's quick hands. Nick Dacos. Long. They're so fast by hand. But this time Long was too slow. Or does he get a free kick?
Dacos. So Schultz, we'll show you how important Lockie Schultz is for the way they want to play. His forward pressure's been extraordinary, and it ends up with Nick Dacos, which is in the best hands you can possibly have it, but it doesn't get there unless Schultz, and he's done it a couple of times already, his chase down pressure's been magnificent.
So the champ flicks the grass up. No breeze to speak of. He's been outstanding early. And there's some cream on the cake with a goal. How good he is.
Well, everyone's getting involved from a forward half point of view. We've spoken about the tackles inside the forward 50. Fremantle at the moment can't find an exit or can't find a mark to really get a composed possession. I love that. You knew he was going to be tackled, and then Brayshaw was the one that didn't want him to get that follow-up handball, breaking the paint inside forward 50. Josh had an option before, just got smothered, and away they go again. Pies pressure's off the charts, 225 at the moment.
12 forward half intercepts, unbelievable.
And I don't expect Fremantle to watch Fox footy pre-game, but Craig McRae told you that he's starting in a back pocket.
Half back, and he and Josh are they're playing centre, changing off the half-back flank, if you don't mind. That's maximising the talent at your disposal. Don't hide them on the bench. Get them out and keep them out.
So that would have given them 20 minutes to at least prep for it. Ball knocked down, Sarong couldn't get a decisive kick away. Switkowski followed one out, back to Sarong. Shoveled it to Darcy. It was a long day to go down and pick it up. Floater inside 50 and a good mark to Voss. He might be the difference maker.
Well, the good news if you're a Freo supporter sitting at home is that when you go in, you're looking really dangerous. So this is just your 50 inside 50, and it'll be your third score. So the clearance game's standing up really well, so they're winning clearance. It's just the territory which has been an issue for them. But when they go in, gee, they look like they're going to score.
Ex-Giants Academy, ex-Essendon VFL from Wesley in Melbourne. They love being at the G. The Pony Express gets another one.
I think the other thing that it shows you guys is you speak about the vulnerability for Collingwood on the ground. I think if you actually equalise forward of the ball, if you go 6-6-6 and you give your forwards a genuine chance to compete in the air and not allow Collingwood to zone off with that spare, you are a chance.
Yeah, well, Darcy Moore's in as good as form as anyone. There's nothing Darcy Moore could do with this. In fact, the kick was a mung, and the fact that it dropped short or floated and dropped short, it was always going to help the forward. So they score from clearance, and the Collingwood team are scoring from turnover. That's the game at the moment. So centre bounce becomes critical.
Yeah, so Collingwood aren't a big clearance, a big stoppage, scores from stoppage team. So don't send numbers up. Really challenge them from that turnover point of view. Don't allow them to have that spare behind the ball.
Cameron and Darcy go at it. Long and Bolton fight for it. Dacos wins it. But taken in a really good tackle by Switkowski.
That's what he needs to do, Matty.
Because their tackling was such a highlight last week. Sarong, Brayshaw, Banfield just has to wait for it to get into his hands, and that is a mung kick straight to Josh Dacos at half-back.
Quickly to Nick. They're on the same page all the time. Perryman wobbles it. Out wide. McDonald, he knew the boundary line was there, and he was really happy. The ball with a mind of its own found it.
So, not sure whether McDonald's got McStay now, so maybe Ryan's rolled over to take Myercheck, who started in such good form, so maybe they made that change.
Craig McRae coaching from the bench again, as he loves to do.
Darcy makes sure He's at the front, but toe poked Banfield, Johnson, Bolton. And that's a dangerous kick to O'Meara. Held his ground well. Switches play. Warner.
Just got to assess his option here.
25th game of AFL. That's a lovely kick to Frederick on his own, 70 metres out. And he's going to spear it inside 50 towards Voss. And a good spoil from Moore and out.
So Voss is doing a great job keeping Moore occupied and being able to score twice. That means that Tracy gets Dean. So Josh Tracy, I think, is one of the really good forwards of the competition against the young, inexperienced Charlie Dean. I like that matchup.
Darcy thumps it forward, side bottom, thumped it to Bolton, wrong guy, caught, long wrapped him up, Brayshaw one way, Frederick the other. Crisp. Little handball was good. So Dean to set it up for Collingwood from defence. Schultz, little nudge out. Johnson got rid of him legally. Banfield, can he find a target? Floats it long. Amos got there late. Tracy was in the middle of it. Nick Dacos, not sure what that was, but it wasn't successful. Switkowski gives it up. Sarong, the bomb, long. O'Meara hits the deck. Cameron couldn't take it.
Good job.
Still a chance. Bolton picked their pocket. Danstep was good. He couldn't, could he?
If there was one player they didn't want the ball to fall into their hands, it was Bolton.
O'Meara did a fantastic job.
He did.
3-on-1 and got it to ground. And as we said, at ground level, they're dangerous.
Just fighting back a little bit here, Fremantle.
Yeah, frenetic passage of play there is Josh Dacos. They've coughed it up. Warner.
No, I think it's been a great 5 minutes. They've copped the punch on the nose at 3-1. They've steadied really well here, the Dockers.
Warner back to the hot spot. They threaten again. Voss at the back. Fist from Moore. Fell to Markov. Handball not good. O'Meara grabbed by side bottom and Nick Dacos. And a ball up.
This one again, watch Bolton. It looks to be free on the defensive side of the stoppage.
Jackson does the right work. Amos goes and gets it. They go and get him and they take him out. Collingwood Army's in the house. Great feel about the MCG. They have packed the place again, the Black and White Army. But you feel as if they know that Fremantle is now in this contest. Essentially an 8-point game, two genuine contenders. Jackson, front spot. Cameron got rid of him, got the Sharon. Bangs it back out. Cox with the fist, knocked it down. Ryan had a sneaky chance. Elliott got a toe on it. Still alive. McDonald, he dropped it. Trouble now. Clark mops up his mess.
But even the McDonald one, so he was looking to grab that ball and handball backwards. It's not the right decision. You need to grab that ball and kick the ball forward. Even if it's 10 or 15 metres, just get rid of that pressure.
Jackson at the back, Sarong a little tap. Pendlebury only to Clark. Clark backpedals. O'Meara. Oh, they really did throw Jackson under the bus, but he got rid of it well, Jackson, and then Bolton. But it's been coughed up in the middle, and Markov stole it. Storming through the middle. Errant handball. Grabbed by Clark. Threads his way through a couple of pies and then sprints it out to Frederick.
Sarong's on if they can.
He threads the eye of the needle and he holds his ground, Sarong. And he gets 50.
Oh, I thought Perryman was in the marking contest there.
Yeah, that's a matter of moments. Like, this is a split second. On the slow-mo, it looks bad, but watching it real time, it looked like he was genuinely committed to the spoil. Irrespective of that, they couldn't get opened up early against a Collingwood side on the rebound, and they haven't, Freo. It looked a little bit dicey there, Geordie, for a minute or two, but they've steadied well. They're standing up and staring the big ladder leader back down a bit at the minute.
He's tough, Caleb Sarong. Played senior football against men as a 16-year-old at Warragul. Through Geelong Grammar, came to the big time. Geelong Grammar has a gym the size of most country towns, and he's been in it a lot. He held his ground and he nails a big goal to tie it up.
Huge to go back and convert. The 50, well, I don't think the 50's there. Geordie doesn't think the 50 there, but the 50's paid, and it ends up in goal. He's had 10, Sarong. So we spoke to to Fly pre-game and mention the fact that he has been silenced to some degree when he's been sat on, but that's not the way they play, Collingwood. And he's just got off the chain a little bit here early with 10 possessions. Now, Nick's had 13, mind you, so he's right off the chain. But this has been a good response from a side where we come to the MCG, Jordan, and the thing I was most excited about is going, OK, this is the ultimate test here. Hostile environment, best team in the comp up until this stage. Can you stand up? Well, the first 20 minutes or so, they're standing up.
So the two-time Dockers best and fairest, Sarong with the score leveller. Quick kick out of thin air to Switkowski. Backs back and then goes corridor straight down the spine to Voss.
Well, it's twice Switkowski has been the one to move first. Once on Nick Dacos, the second time on Josh Dacos. Just give him a metre to react out of centre bounce. And then once again, it's Voss leading up on Darcy Moore. So he's not staying deep and calling for the ball on his head. He's getting on the move.
So prolific early, already with the two. Including a running goal, set shot this time. That's the assignment. And through it goes, a beautiful drop punt. This has been a terrific fight back from Fremantle late in the first quarter.
It's been so impressive, and I want to hand the plaudits to Justin Longmuir and his coaching team. I'm looking down there and I'm thinking at the start of the game, Voss on Moore, Moore's an intercept king. But what Darcy Moore does, undeniably, is he lets you go at the football. And it seems to me they said, right, at every opportunity, Pat Voss, don't get into an arm wrestle with this bloke. You must come. Tracy leads out of the hole, opens up the slot, and that's 3 times Voss is hit up on Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore doesn't want to play on Patrick Voss in this manner. He wants to sit back, wrestle and intercept mark, keep the space. Now, Maynard's trying to fill the hole here, but there's 30 metres for Patrick Voss to hit up on. That's not what Darcy Moore wants.
It means Josh Tracy is free for another little surge kick out of the stoppage if that was the case they want to go.
To win the flag, you've got to pass the MCG test. You've got to pass the Collingwood test in 2025. They're passing it so far. Brayshaw goes back, goes to Clark, ball up. I'll get you to judge the Switkowski index as well shortly, Gazza. How much can one player psychologically affect the team?
Is their spirit animal?
Absolutely. Him back in changed a lot of stuff. And there he is laying a tackle. Side bottom. Pendlebury goes back to go forward. Perryman floats it. Mason Cox had the reach, not the dexterity to pull the mark down. Banfield caught close to the boundary. Calling offence, screaming for a bit of love. They get none.
Dwayne, you can add Hayden Young onto that as well. So Switkowski and Young, they are a totally different side.
Was Young the sub this afternoon. Will Hoskinelli at the sub for the Pies. Cox won it down. Blazing through the pack was Schultz, went without it, and another ball up.
Kick 4 of the last 5, Freo, so this is really important period in the last couple of minutes here for the Pies. I'd love to square this up again. Lost a bit of momentum.
Hurried kick by Sarong, ricochets around. Lipinski, ball along the ground. Clark flicks it back. Banfield, Wagner, hurried one towards the wing. Over the head of Frederick. Maynard, Quaynor, clever little tap to Crisp. Quick one to Josh Dacos. Out to side bottom. Retreats back to Maynard. They slowly build. And he thumps it inside 50. Cox wrestling at the back. Chapman couldn't bring it down. At the legs of Crisp, and eventually it's wrapped up.
Yeah, Banfield did a really good job just to engage Mason Cox forward of the ball.
Here we go.
Jackson flicks it down double-handed to Brayshaw. Bump on the kick. Switkowski stands his ground. Did pretty well. Warner knew he was going to be swallowed.
Yeah, it's a dangerous kick to hook it back into the middle of the ground. I know he was under pressure.
Jackson won it down. Going in McDonald.
And this is where you've got to be so strong if you're Fremantle defensively. Repeat stoppages. This is a chance when just one Fremantle player might get it mixed up.
Cox goes himself, just manufactures a little kick, and then Elliott, bouncing ball. Cox at the back. McStay tapped it only to the advantage of Brayshaw, and then O'Meara Hurried kick outside. 50 more with the big diffusing fist. Fell to the lap. Sullivan round the corner. It's a sky ball, but Elliott, did he mark it? No, he didn't. Dropped it. Came out to Wagner. Some little things late in the piece and goes out to Warner, who's got to be fast.
It's out wide. Well delivered. Tracy with the boundary. He got neither in the end. And it might come back to Horn. It's long, Cox. But they were both there. Safety first. They thumped it out, but a mark there. And they could have mopped up the remaining seconds, but they weren't on the same page. And Elliott knows you let one slip.
He had a good chunk of it, Jamie Elliott.
Back into play. Donald hassled out of it by Big Mason. Seconds tick down.
Yeah, this is where you'd love to see Mason Cox get a hold of one and get it outside that congestion, link up with the midfielder or half forward.
Closing stages of the first term. Along the ground. Wagner up and under. How's it going to bounce? Vicious break on it and out.
Just ever so slightly been a bit more forgiving, the umpires, with that.
Depends on who you are.
Horrible bounce.
Yeah, it was heading boundary offside anyway.
So Cox works his way to the front against Jackson. Down to Brayshaw. He's got the helmet, got his brother's helmet on. Chapman kick smothered off the boot of Warner from Crispin out.
Just holding up here, holding up the Dockers. Been in this defensive 50 for a while now. There's no time left on the clock. Can't give it one up. As Geordie said, arm across.
Time enough for something crazy here, though. From the slap down. So bottom little knock on. Chris caught. Driscoll hammers it away. More seconds tick, tick, tick. Now Cameron's marked it, and the umpire said, no, you're not having a go. He didn't mark it in time.
He had Mark Pitney in the back of his mind. Then he thought, if he can, I can.
26 plays 20. Massive comeback by the Dockers. You have to be able to win here at the MCG. You've got to be able to make it in New York. It's okay being big in Japan, but this is the spot. And they have been up for the challenge. 4-2 to 3-2 quarter time. The footy never stops on Fox Footy. Chris John, Sam Mitchell, 360 Coaches Night. And Mike Sheehan returns to the couch.
All right, folks. Hey, there we go. Can you believe it? The Dockers are in front at quarter time for 2:26. The Mighty Magpies 3-2-20. I tell you what, I think the Dockers have got. I think the Dockers have got 22 players out on the ground. The Magpies have only got 18. Eddie, the Dockers have got the umpires in their back pocket. Let me tell you about that. Oh my gosh! Talk about that 50. That was no 50. That was definitely in the mark. That spoiled. Tell us what that. What happened is, are you talking about the game or when I lost connection? I lost internet connection. Can you believe it? It went down. My internet crashed for a moment. And I was rushing around trying to get it back up. So thankfully got back up pretty quick. But look, Freo played pretty good. Let's not take it away from Freo. They actually did play pretty good. But the thing with Freo is, can they do it for 4 quarters? Eddie, can they do it for 4 quarters? That is the big question. Magpies just mucking around with the ball a little bit. They're, it's a little bit like melting chocolate in their hands. They don't know what to do with it. They just haven't got it all running smoothly just at the moment. That's like they're running in second gear and they're trying to crank it back down to kick himself into first gear. But it's just not sort of working at the moment. You know what? They actually don't look too dangerous going down forward, especially the second half of that first quarter. Freo looked a little bit better down there. It seemed as though Freo were putting a little bit more pressure on, fumble more. That's right. They were fumbling a little bit, just not really clean. That's right. They're just dangling the carrot at the moment. But I think the Pies, they need to get a little bit of their, I don't know, they've got to play a little bit of chaos footy, get that fast run back. I suppose they're doing that, but just going inside forward 50, they're just having a little bit of trouble in their forward 50. I think Mason Cox is just, I tell you what, I don't know whether the team works as well with Mason Cox in it. Fumble mantle. No, it's fumble pies at the moment. The pies are just too hot. They're fumbling the pie, see? Can I see the live ladder? All right, well, let's give you a bit of a look at the live ladder. There is the live ladder. Freo jump up into 7th spot. For the meantime, the Cats are winning. The Pies will remain there, right there. I tell you what, the good thing for Collingwood next week, I think Collingwood play Richmond next week. Although Richmond played pretty good last week. Holy moly! I tell you what, guacamole. Hey, just for you boys, let's have a look at the. My gosh! Since the internet crashed, this all crashed. Let's have a look at the goal scorers. There we go. Paddy Voss. I tell you what, Paddy Voss had a big quarter there, didn't he? 5 kicks for Freo. 3 goals, 1. There we go. Paddy Voss. I think he did this last week, Paddy Voss. And then he was a little bit quiet in the next few quarters on kicking them. So he started off strong last week as well as this week. Caleb Sarong got the umpire's goal. And that's it for the Dockers, 2 goal scorers. A little bit like the Maggies. Brody Myercheck with 2 goals. Nick Dacos with 1. Disposal getter, Nick Dacos out there with 13, top of the table. The two stars of both sides doing it well. 13 touches in the goal for Nick Dacos, and of course 12 touches for Caleb Sarong, with a little star from Freo with a goal also. The only 2 over 10 disposals. Jordan Clark, 9, going all right. Josh Dacos, the brother, up to 8. Let's quickly roll down these. Swiskowski on 7. Andy Brayshaw, of course, he needs to have a big game there for the Freo Dockers, doesn't he? He's on 6 so far, still Sidebottom a little bit quiet with 5, Perryman 5, Jack Crisp 5, Shai Bolton there just with the 5. I don't know whether he did a great deal. I was trying to connect the internet back up for everyone. Holy Toledo, Batman. Panic stations when that happened. Lockie Schultz needs to come into the game. Come on, Lockie, you've only had the 4 touches. You got to put that pressure on. He's a really good pressure player. He needs to lift his act. How many tackles has he had? He's had 3 tackles in the clearance, so not too bad. Need a bit more from him. A little bit like Scotty Pendlebury, the old boy. He's only had the 3 touches, so the Docker's doing well so far. All right, let's just roll on down here just a little bit. Jamie Elliott, come on, son. Dropped a mark down forward, which could have been a nice goal. Let's just have a quick look at these team stats just for quarter time, and we'll see it's the Dockers by 13 disposals overall. Inside 50s, I tell you what, both teams are getting, Fremantle, 17 inside 50s. That's fantastic. Getting plenty of it in there. The Magpies only 10, so they did really well. But talk about 22 players out on the ground for Fremantle. Fremantle have got the all 4 umpires in their pocket today. The umpires wanting Fremantle to win this game. There's no question about that. 7 free kicks to the Dockers, 1 to Collingwood. 7-1. There we go. I just wanted to jump down. I just wanted to go down and have a look at the tackle count. As I was saying, the Dockers doing well inside their forward, 53 marks already. I just wanted to jump down here. Oh, that's a little bit surprising. That is surprising to me. I thought the Dockers were putting a little bit more pressure on there. 32 to 19 tackles. That's a lot of tackles from the Pies in the opening term. 13 inside 50 tackles. Is that right? My gosh, that's staggering. Hey, that's enough for me. Let's get back down to the action. That's the Dockers by 6 points.
As we go into the second quarter, it's the Dockers by a goal. 1 down by Darcy. Brayshaw quickly to Sarong. Scooped it out to Jackson. Back to Darcy. Darcy's kick towards Amos. Worried out of it by Dean, who flicked it forward. Pendlebury. And now the running Nick Dacos scampers away. A quick bounce. And then a kick towards the forward flank. Sits up for Sullivan. But too slow for him, and Chapman makes sure he's out.
Yeah, he's had a stack of the ball, Nick. Just his kicking, just a little bit off in the early part of this game.
Even then, the chaser Switkowski.
Yeah,
we just got to him at the end.
Applied pressure. And if Collingwood think about one part of the game they'd like to get a little bit better at, it is the clearance game.
Cameron and Darcy go at it. It's hacked off the deck by Dacos. Clark got a fist on it. McCreary almost tangled between his legs, likewise Banfield. McCreary got it to Lipinski. A wobbler inside 50. Elliott, Ryan clever. McDonald knew he had O'Meara screaming for it. Back pocket. Gee, ugly handball. Big Mason, it was a long way down. My check. Core strength. Slung 720, got away with it. Chapman, the lift tool's closed on him quickly. Ball up.
They keep going with this handball game. It will bring them undone at some stage. The pressure from Collingwood at the moment is too great.
Jack O'Meara doing that.
Yeah.
So Cox and Darcy. Cox only to Banfield. O'Meara off a step. Round the corner. Doesn't leave defensive 50. Perryman.
Braden Maynard hanging around. It's a good result early. This is the strength of them early in the piece. They strangled them for territory. Kept it in their half. They had 15 forward half intercepts in the first quarter. Most of that happened in the first 15 or 20 minutes.
So Perryman, the free agent, at the end of 2024, played 129 games for the Giants. Wheels and goes. It's going to sit up in the square. Cox works his way to the front. Off hands. Banfield retreats. Wagner under pressure. McCreary all over him. Umpire says you're holding it.
Good decision.
Did it not go over the boundary line before?
I think he didn't want to go over the boundary line. That was his only option. So I think it's a good decision. Side bottom.
So side bottom receives the ball and puts it through.
Go
and
Pies!
back square.
Yeah, gee, it's great forward pressure by McCreary. So we speak about Switkowski at one end, the forward pressure. You know when he's in your area. And Bo McCreary just closed the gap when Wagner's eyes were busy.
So this is their front half game, which is superb. And the pressure's there. We saw it with O'Meara early in the piece. And then here, you're locked on the last line. You can't run through, or you probably could have run it through then. He was close enough, McCreary. But I think that was in the back of his mind. And once he didn't do that, then he was a sitting duck in the end. So Geordie's point is right. You give them a chance. Their eyes light up, Collingwood. Their forward half light up and they go, right, let's get to work. And it was fantastic in the first 10 minutes. Centre bounce clearance is so important for Freo. Don't let it get down there. Get it in the other end.
Still Sidebottom joins Jack Rewalt today. Game 347. Plays 350th in a couple of weeks against the Hawks. Great contest. Bolton had it, flicked it, Sarong. Straight down the Staples. Amos. Now it's a hold on Voss. And he's going to win the free. Collingwood fans just realising now they don't like it.
Yeah, well, Moore was not wanting to give him half a metre. And I think it happened when Voss tried to throw Darcy Moore out of the road.
See, I thought it was going the other way.
Yeah, so did I, to be honest.
When I had a look at it, because I was about to say this is where Moore's strength is, but he ends up, we'll have to have another look at it in a minute. The bottom line is he's going for 4, Patrick Voss. He might go. He'll go off his nut here.
He could be in for his biggest ever day at the office, at the biggest office in footy. He's got 4, and I like that celebration. Act like you've done it before.
Well, he had 3 times, so he got it out of his system, Dwayno, and now he's just going about, let me see if I can get 8. This is a huge win. So here it is. They both engage. So he paid that the arm went around his neck over his shoulder.
So at what point do you change that matchup? Are you looking to change it, or are you looking to say, hey, Darcy, we, as good as you are, we give you a chance to work back into the contest?
No, they look wedded to it at the moment, and they're going to stick with it. It's just a matter of whether that's the sort of contest that Darcy wants. In the end, though, he's lost that as well. So it's a great win for Freo. Voss v Moore, 4 goals. And 4 minutes into the second quarter. Huge result. But it starts in the middle. Centre bounce territory.
Yeah, the handball from Bolton to release Sarong. Too sure what Jake was thinking.
Darcy flicks it back. McCreary's the first there, as he always is. Cut off that time by Reid. Back to Bolton. And then Reid. They're working concert with each other. Out to Tracy. Those lilac boots. He's going to wheel and go. Long penetrating kick. Jackson at the back. Down they go. Cameron hit the deck hard. And Dean grabbed by Jackson and the ball up.
And they're doing the right thing. You just keep going on the Voss Moore matchup. You just keep going and see if the medal of Darcy Moore has been somewhat...
Darcy went himself to Jackson. Snap round the corner. Voss playing for a free kick, nothing doing. Came out to Maynard and they can leave 50. Over clubs it. Pendlebury. In the end, it was just paddled over the line.
I like Darcy Cameron, what he did before. So the centre bounce was lost. So one area where you can help is to get in front of Voss and help Darcy Moore. It hasn't been able to be achieved from your other defenders. As a ruckman.
And then what Luke Jackson has to do then is go, use me up, or Darcy,
Pendlebury, Nick Dacos, Slick-handed Lipinski to Allen, runs the midfield nicely. Long got it on. McCreary has the speed, goes toward the goal, or Elliott. He'd take either. A bouncing ball. Elliott will do no. Can he keep it in? He's hunted. Umpire says push. Elliott free in the back.
Well, there was good pressure there. McCreary started at that last centre bounce, so it gives him a great look through the middle of the ground, and the run through the middle is outstanding. And then the coverage, he's just got to roll the side, Oscar. His coverage was outstanding on Jamie Elliott, but this is bread and butter for the champ.
3-goal-free last week, Jamie Elliott. 44-22 this season coming in. Shell and Peace just calms things down a little.
Well, that's their best ball movement. So they've had a front half game to now. All their scoring's been coming from once the ball's been in their forward half, and they keep it in. But this was breathtaking. Here's the fight down the bottom. Done a good job, Ryan, so far with Elliott. And then what you need is your mate to come in and help, which Austin McDonald worked hard at. But he was just a bit untidy at the end, so did a great job, Jamie Elliott. 2-on-1 in the end, and you end up with a goal. You take that all day long, but they'll be thrilled with the way that ball moved from their back half. Bo McCreary generally has an impact when he goes into the middle of the ground, and he's in at this centre bounce again.
Yeah, as soon as you let Bo McCreary goal side, good luck trying to catch him.
Great game of footy. It's a great game of footy.
So Jamie Elliott with 45 goals this year, third in the Coleman, 13 off the pace. O'Meara.
Now, let's see. There's Voss and Moore. I want Voss to take Moore back to the square there.
I wonder whether Moore's dictating that.
Yeah, well, he just has to go back.
Cameron got a free kick, then Josh Dacos. Long ball. Freo had the numbers there. McCreary just off the ground, tries to manufacture a charge. Johnson takes his medicine.
Yeah, once again, good pressure from Collingwood in their front half.
Two rush collide. Johnson feeds it out in the Ryan direction. He's being hunted. Got a handball to Clark. Markov wraps him up. Got a kick away, but the umpire was quick on the whistle. Didn't want the tackle to take him to the ground.
It was hot, wasn't it?
Flung sort of forward as opposed to in the air. Crisp inside. Long, cut it off. Past Pendlebury, Bolton. Against the grain, wasn't sure. He dropped that, but he wasn't tackled. Schultz rolled over. O'Meara gets it out of there. Cameron stands under it. He's the one in the two. And he takes an easy grab.
Working hard. Short. Pendlebury.
This is the one where they just try and get that kick sort of 50 to 60. So you see that one there, just a little bit closer to the arc, and then they go long.
So Josh Dacos, slow trajectory kick. Elliott waits at the back. It came to him. Threw his boot at it. He has it, has he? Of course he has.
He's a genius. He is a genius, Jamie Elliott. And I tell you what, the big Sean Darcy's not going to like this. As soon as Josh Dacos kicked it, your eyes went forward. He was the free in the hole. He stuck 1 minute in the air. You've got to be better than that, big fella. You've got to be better than that. You've got to mark this ball, the bottom line. You're the only one in there. You put one hand up, you leave yourself open to the magic man, Jamie Elliott, and he does that. So that's just class. But the big man, if you're filling in the hole, you've got to fill in the hole.
It's clever by Josh Dacos as well. I think he looked up and saw Darcy wasn't in the position that he preferred to be in, so he took off. He played on really quickly. Sometimes we see Collingwood take a little bit more composure with those kicks, but he knew he had him over the back. It's just been a game of momentum.
Yeah, Collingwood led by 13 points early, if you weren't with us. And now lead again now. Cameron's done well. Contender for All-Australian ruck. He's playing like one. To Josh Dacos, to Pendlebury. Couldn't quite reach it. Ryan couldn't quite reach it. And
So-
the boundary line a little too quick for all of them.
If you're a Collingwood fan, you just want it inside your forward 50, because once it gets in there, Geordie, Freo can't move from their defensive 50 to their front 50. They've tried it 28 times so far, and they've only got in there twice. So this is exactly where you want to be living if you're a Magpie.
Jackson down to Johnson. Meets his match, got a little handball away. Crisp was there waiting for it. Tumbling ball, pressure on the Dockers. McDonald just a kick and hope it's going to go back to Crisp.
Another intercept for when Freo come out of defence.
Stay alert for the short one. He's going to go long. Initially was going to go short, down to the pocket. Up they go. Front and square O'Meara. And throwing it on the boot. Sarong gets plenty of distance. Reaches the wing. No mark taken by Tracy. McStay just with a little hip, and then Dean is going to make sure it's a stalemate.
Yeah, so Tracy's the one they need to get involved now. She's had a couple of possessions. That was a much better kick by Sarong. He went right over the top of the defence.
Clear the area.
15 possessions, Sarong 16, Nick Dacos. Cameron goes and gets his own ruck work. McCreary was clever. Josh Dacos jumped on by Jackson, got away with it. Rodeo ridden.
Great tackle.
McCreary rewarded.
Great tackle. Took him on, Luke Ryan.
Absolutely. The big bucking Brocco got rid of him, but he won it on points. He launches a torp. Schultz got there late. Pendlebury lurking. Tackle laid on Warner. Side bottom. Tried to sidestep. Didn't work. Wagner rolled. Ball up.
If you want to know what sort of impact pressure has, that handball from Warner, the handball from O'Meara earlier, that's what pressure does. They're just trying to get it out of their area at the minute.
Long, threading through, round the corner. Schultz, no mark, he was spoiled. Gets a second chance, gets the free kick behind.
It's a high free kick, but already the 19 inside 50 tackles.
Unbelievable.
Collingwood, 19-2.
It's actually a joy to watch them go to work. And it already, as I said earlier, a couple of times Freo got it just handballed it. Because what happened then? He said, look at the scoreboard.
Did he point at the scoreboard, which used to be dissent, but obviously is again?
Oh, it depends what umpire it is. It really does.
Yeah, they haven't been so hot on it, have they, this year at all? So Schultz can just saunter in. A goal on a platter, and all of a sudden it's out to 2 goals.
Well, we'll have a listen to see if that's in fact what happened, because if it is, it's a disgrace. Unless they've come out and told these players beforehand, if you start pointing at scoreboards or saying, look at the scoreboard and we're going to pay 50, that hasn't happened for 12 months. No, that every player points at that. I've seen that happen 10 times this year, if that's what happened in this occasion.
It didn't look like it was demonstrative or anything like that.
Well, I mean, when the crackdown was on, we all looked at it and went, okay, if that's how you want to play, we'll play by those rules. Don't just let it drop off and then pick one out arbitrarily here in the middle of a massive, great game at the MCG. It's just a disgrace.
Well, it happened last night. Was it after the siren? A player went to the umpire and disputed and pointed to the...
Okay, let's keep an eye out here.
See if they've sent a memo around this morning. But it does hurt. Pendlebury shoots it out. Some momentum now Collingwood's way. Lipinski, the turn, superb, and the bullet. Not quite. Mason Cox. Cox got a kick away. McDonald. Frikowski.
It's taken nothing away from Lockie Schultz, by the way, who earned the goal in every single facet with his great work for the ball.
Frikowski from Box Hill. The Hawks reserves chased Cyril Rioli around in some pre-season games and wasn't quite good enough to get himself on the list, but got a splendid career going now at Fremantle. Johnson short, and he finds Murphy Reid.
Just building it up nicely.
Next kick important, hung for a while, but Bolton.
Yeah, they had time to recover too, Collingwood. But I like the way that Fremantle built that up. It has been a high pressure on the back of trying to overuse the ball, Fremantle, but this is just a little bit of composure, taking ground when given.
Gee, Scotty Pendlebury would love it again. He just missed.
Yeah,
he went under the footy.
He went straight between his arms.
He knows it too.
The man who took Mark of the Year in 2021 held his ground. Of course, All-Australian in 2022. Kicking this outside the arc. It's going to sit up for the big men. Up they go. And out the back for behind.
Guys have been great. Kicked 4 of the last 5 after they were challenged big time Just steady, got it back on their terms. As we said, their front half game is holding him in such great stead.
The 24 half intercepts for Collingwood for a return of 32 points.
It's an amazing kick from Nick Dacos. He could pass it to you through the open windows of a passing car. It's an amazing bullet to Pendlebury, and now they're out. Quain all long. McStay or Schultz. Schultz went with the back fist. Clark collects. Spins nicely on the lazy Susan. Got them all out of their shoes. Murphy Reid. Chapman sinks that salmon slipper into it and goes wide. Moore almost the mark, not paid. Markov gets and goes. Thumps it long, and he's got McStay. He should take it.
He does exactly that, and then he spins and goes. Kick to the square. Myercheck. Good spoil.
Ryan's recovered really well, and that was fast ball movement out of half back. You said that. Nick Dacos was instrumental in that. And Ryan's just put himself in some really good positions.
Chapman. Dwayne went salmon. I'll go apricot. Spreads out to Cox.
You two were arguing pre-game about the colour of a couple of boots.
It's a colourful game nowadays as transitions on out towards Johnson, although coming through Myercheck to spoil the party, mopping up Johnson, and then his kick straight to the opposition. Sullivan overclubbed it for Lipinski, but the biggest man on the field was there anyway, Cox.
We don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's the absolute guts of what's going on here. He's sitting as a Freo supporter going, what's happened? It's his forward half game's back again. And there's another example. Johnson's got the ball. He's got to either make contact with Myercheck, initiate contact, or take the mark. And now another shot at goal here, which, what did you say? The 30 plus?
32 points.
Yep, forward half.
So, can Cox, as a result, make them pay? It's pretty good purchase on it. It's just a little bit short and offline.
Yeah, 33 points from 21 forward half turnovers, 19 forward 50 tackles. So that's their second second most in a match this season. It's not even half time.
Yeah, so now they're starting to mark the ball back. So 4 marks, they've taken intercepts, 11-3, the inside 50s. Got to get moving the Dockers.
Clark the 1-2 with Chapman. Ball knocked to the front. Wagner. Reid. Nice movement. Brayshaw. And it opens up for him. Goes to Bolton. Known finisher. He flips it instead to Amos. Had the reach.
Yeah, they got there in the end. I mean, I think it was Amos first when Brayshaw had the ball, provided a really good lead. And they decided to keep using the hands. But eventually found him inside the forward 50. I like the positioning change of Darcy Moore. He's starting to now take the front position of Voss.
Yeah, it's made an adjustment, which is a sign of a great player. It's now up to Voss to respond, but it's in the hands of Jai Amos.
First touch. And he is dead-eye. Jai threads it beautifully. And they're on the way back.
Yeah, it's only their 4th time they've gone inside their own forward 50 so far. But those goals are important. All the momentum has been going Collingwood's way. Their tackling, their pressure has been fierce. I just think Fremantle, the last 5 minutes, have slowed down their ball movement, decided to go to a more of a kick mark game and build the ball up, less chaos and less congestion, and it's serving them well.
Well, it's the first time they got out. So, again, the news is great for Freo if they can get through. And it's a big if at the moment because Collingwood have just, their defence is so good in the front half. But when they get through, as we just saw there's 3 Fremantle players. They were just almost mucked it up because they had too many options. So that's the challenge of the game here. Can Collingwood keep defending in their front half like they are? Can Freo get forward either from clearance or from the back?
Can that change of style that Geordie was talking about help Fremantle kick back in the second quarter, just like they did in the first? As Sarong has been ripped away from it, but got it away to Darcy, Brayshaw, Banfield. Keeps it low, speared it to Reid, who swings and then kicks to the top of the square. They set themselves. Jackson tries to pat it to Switkowski, and then Allen runs it out.
So Sarong in the middle is the one that helps him get forward. Murphy Reid gets great value for possessions.
Yeah, Maynard's gone to Voss as well. So speaking about 2 hotheads,
Yes.
he might be trying to get under his skin.
Yeah, well,
Ball's right across.
Feels like a cage match. between two contenders out here. So that's a nice little battle between the battle of some of the other big boys out there. And it is big boy time.
Geez, you'd love to know the instruction that went to Maynard.
Maynard can get into your head.
Yeah.
Cox, Darcy, Reid. Free kick. And he's a contender for the Rising Star, Murphy Reid. Oh, no, it's Darcy's ball on the ruck. So they gave it knocked down to Reid, who looked like he was tackled before he got it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be holding the man to Murphy Reid.
And Perryman had him.
Yeah, so arms around in the ruck contest. So Mason Cox is deemed to have had both arms wrapped around big Shawnee Darcy. So he just might own one, the big fella.
Concentration written all over his face. Struts in, that'll work back.
Right.
Got it. Late in the quarter, they're doing it again. Same as the opening term when they kicked 3 in a row to finish the quarter. They've now got 2 in a row here.
Well, again, so centre bounce has been their friend in this second quarter. They're 4-2 out of the middle. Here's the free kick. So there's the arms around. And Sean Darcy grabbed his right arm, wouldn't let it go either. So that's ruck lotto. We know what ruck lotto is. It's just pick out a ball and see where it drops. But in the middle is so important because it gets into an area of the ground where they are in probably holding an area of dominance. So whichever way the footy goes is where the scoring is right now. And Sean Darcy had a little moment earlier where he could have gone back, I reckon, and taken a mark. That's a great finish.
Get the camera on Voss and Maynard. They are absolutely going at it behind the ball.
Yeah, this was interesting. So, yeah, we'll watch it.
So both Wakeman Waite, Cox to McCreary to Crisp, who finds some open space and then overhits it towards Elliott. Ryan did well. Pads it off towards Banfield, who's got a little bit of time for a composed bounce, and now Frederick couldn't quite grasp it. Fell out to O'Driscoll. Quick movement of the football. High one. Amos at the back here, more at the front. Both want free kicks, nothing doing. Spilt to Cox, and then Dean's hurried hands. Markoff does a little ring of Rosie, and then a little kick into the middle. But it's coughed up by Fremantle. Clark's got it.
We've got Luke Jackson deep with, well, he had Charlie Dean, but now got Mason Cox. That's the matchup you want to try and get to.
Coming off 31 possessions last week, Clark. Sarong's had his own Sharon. Mongrels that one through the legs of Mason Cox. Might have been deliberate. Here's Voss. Fast Freddy too fast for his feet. Brayshaw can't quite trap it, overran it. Towed away. Out wide. Johnson hunted down by Sullivan. Oh, all out of play. And the umpire says insufficient intent.
What? Jeez. Got bumped, didn't he? Didn't like Sullivan get bumped then. Oh, no, he tried to paddle it. That's what they pay these days. Thought it was a contest.
So does Johnson go for home here? He sits it up in hope. They've got the tall timber. Cox goes up. Jackson was up. Slap through for a defensive behind as the boos ring around the MCG. But we've got the game we were hoping for. Scores are level.
First quarter is reflecting the second quarter. Sorry, very much reflecting what happened in the first. Fremantle finished strongly.
It's very much a finals atmosphere. These two sides only playing one final, a semi-final in 2022. Crisp's kick marked by McStay. Outpoints Chapman that time. And then a fake to Allen. Allen's kick to the pocket. Myercheck wrestling with McDonald. Fell to Lipinski. Was hoping for Elliott. Chapman. And also over there doing well was Clark and out. So a throw in. I'd say 60, 65,000 here. There's McStay. Work to the front. Fist down to Ryan. Grabbed by Crisp. That's going to be a ball up.
Jordan Clark's getting busy, so he's so important to them in terms of getting the footy from the back half. So he's starting to really have an impact.
So Dacos, Brayshaw all over him. Crowd want high.
The umpire's in a good spot to decide whether it was high or holding the ball.
Two major possession winners, Dacos and Sarong side by side now. Nick with Caleb, little brush off with Crisp across the goal. Big flyer, Schultz. And it hits the post, so it'll be a ball in forward pocket for Collingwood.
So Darcy Moore's got another opponent, Geordie.
He's now over to Tracy.
Sorry, Tracy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Amos is on the bench, so he's rolled over to Tracy. Maynard continues that one on Voss.
McStay in the ruck. Schultz and Long all fight for it. Johnson went in. McCreary's tapped to Lipinski. Back to Perryman. And it's going to sit it out for side bottom. How good was that?
Yeah, he just snuck forward. He realised the ball was going backwards, trying to find a free player. Perryman was that player, so he realised now's his chance to get forward. You see there, top of the screen.
That's smart. That's just footy smarts. And it's almost, not saying it was a set play, but as soon as he got ball in hand, he knew there was someone to the outside and it'd be side bottom.
So, the magnificent footballer for the Collingwood Football Club, looking for his second goal today. The professionalism of the veteran. Beautiful drop punt.
Just the build up to that until the kick. All clubs, well, not all clubs, but really good clubs, their work in close is just a joy. Like, you didn't think that footy was capable of getting out of the congested traffic, but just their hands from here. Just watch the way they control this Collingwood. So they're at the ball, and it's just, Dacos gets out of it, somehow gets out to McCreary, then the tap on, then the out, and then all of a sudden they've gone from heavy congestion to one of the best ball users of modern time, free out in his own.
I think some clubs have a tendency to go towards goal, and that's where the opposition set up in terms of their extra numbers. Quite often, when you go against the flow, and that's usually away from goal, you find options that open up. They did on that occasion really well.
3 minutes 20 left in the half. Ball knocked down in the Nick Dacos-Sarong direction. They collide. Brayshaw, dump. Lipinski, good dance step, finds Pendlebury and they're running for him. Inside and outside. He goes to Lipinski, who thumps it long, touched on the line.
He's had some great efforts, has Ryan.
Yeah, he's been playing on Jamie Elliott too, so not too many tougher jobs from anyone that goes to a mid to small size forward.
By Roden right on the spot as Ryan goes out to Coxon side bottom. Just will not give him space at all. McStay was able to amble over and pick up the football. Then McCreary, who sears the grass and then kicks towards goal.
Well,
and misses.
Sorry, mate. If you want a lesson, that's the set play. They go to Cox, they isolate him out on a wing and just kick it to him, and more often than not he marks. But that's just side bottom saying, no, you're not marking this. And he halved it, and then they get another repeat entry.
He did a good job not to give away a free kick.
Will they be aggressive or cautious?
Nah, cautious.
Central kick. Jackson, Tracy both there. Moore didn't win with a fist. Holding free.
This is where they can still build the ball up. Still 2.5 minutes to go in the game. They have found some holes in this Collingwood defence.
Murphy Reid can conjure something special.
Well, they've been inside 16 times and they've scored 11, Geordie. That's keeping them in the game. They're so efficient when they do get in there.
Does pull it short in the end to Sarong. He heads toward Jackson, will do. One grab, not the second. Bolton got it. Outside of the boot doesn't work.
But I think coming in at half-time, as good as Collingwood have been in their front half, they have let that uncontested mark game get away from them in Fremantle's front half. Just not tight enough defensively.
Josh Dacos along the boundary. Surely a holding free kick and some Bronx cheers. Myercheck's going to come up with it. It's kick 2 today. Brody Myercheck. So, good long kick in the Cameron direction. He's able to grasp it with the one hand.
Yeah, Darcy just gave up. Oh, they're on in the middle here.
Yeah, they've got screaming for it, Perryman. Then Corridor. That was like a rifle to Pendlebury.
Stay alert. Maynard going past. I don't think Scotty's got this in him. I still know you can arc. Plainall coming through. This might be a little spot-up kick late.
We had side bottom kicking second earlier. Another legend of the club. Pendlebury takes on his man, and then he ran into a bit of a dead end. Shallow entry in the end. There's going to be a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick to Fremantle and Chapman.
They're onto it. I think it was Corey Wagner who was on the mark. Knew that Pendlebury didn't have the distance. He had to arc.
Old school awareness on the mark. Great to see. They're up for the fight, Fremantle.
So you would imagine just be a long kick down to Darcy.
There it is. Darcy's there. Voss edge the pack a little further forward. And they're out. Bolton, they've got time to play with here, Fremantle. Bolton, a couple of bounces, make that 3. Handball option if he wants it. Now he does go. Reed, little roller through the legs of Maynard. Bolton, a chance to make something of it. Seconds keep ticking. He's ducked past 4. They cut it off. That was a freak show. Would have been a fun watch if they'd have scored from that. Cameron gets there and saves the day. Can take the seconds off the clock. It's had a finals-like atmosphere from the outset, this game. These two teams could even meet here come grand final day. It's been a phenomenal contest between the two of them. At the half-time, we're really no closer to knowing who's going to be victorious. But right now, you've got to say Fremantle are passing the MCG test, passing the Collingwood test. But you always have to pass the last quarter test when it comes to a game against Collingwood here. 8-8, 8-6, 54 to 7-5, 47. 7-point margin in favour of the Magpies with a half to play in front of, well, maybe close to 70,000 here at the MCG. It's been a beautiful afternoon for football, cool afternoon in Melbourne, and the sun setting on what should be a fine evening.
A great spectacle so far. The goal kickers for Collingwood, Elliott with 2, Sidebottom with 2, and Brody Myercheck with 2. Of course, the bounce after the serious action today, always on for a laugh. Turn it up, Gazy. And then, of course, first crack. 3 of the best in the business. Benny Dixon, Joey Montagna. It's all happening tonight.
All right, folks. There we go. That's more like it. The Magpies 8-6, 54, leading the Dockers 7-5, 47. That's the Magpies by a whopping 7 points here at half-time. The MCG. We've got a cracking game on our hands here, I tell you what. We've got 3 teams out here today. Well, 1v 1.5. Of course, we've got the mighty Magpies out there taking on the Dockers and the umpires. That's how it looks like. I tell you what, this is some of the worst umpiring I've seen in about 4 weeks. What do you reckon, Eddie? What do you? I want to ask a Fremantle supporter here. What do you think of the umpires? It sure is a ring-a-dink-dink game here happening here at the MCG. I tell you what, 7 points in it. Magpies are going from a 6-point deficit to a 7-point lead. Of course, the Dockers putting on 3 goals, 3 in that second term. The Maggies 5 goals, 4. A little bit of wayward kicking there. Addie loving the cheese and crackers. I tell you what, I did actually pop down to the shop earlier on today, I must say, and I did buy some spring onion dip with some crackers to have for the footy. I just should have got some champagne. Zane, I go for the Collingwood Magpies. I go for the Pies. There we go. Umps always favouring the Pies. I tell you what, the umps have given Fremantle 3 goals today with disgusting decisions. I'm telling you right now, you're watching the game. You got to at least agree with me there. 3 goals go to the umpires. 4 goals go to the Dockers. 8 goals go to the Pies. I need a bottle of scotch. I tell you what, it's a bit like that watching this game. But I tell you what, this is what we're after. This is what we're after. A good game. Even if the Pies aren't playing that well, Freo are playing reasonably well. We're just after a close, good game, and this is a really good test to see where Fremantle were, because normally Freo don't travel well, especially down the MCG, playing one of the top sides. So if Freo can sort of hang around, here, It'll be interesting if the Pies step up their game. This is what I wanted to see, how Freo would match up against Collingwood playing good football, because I wanted to see how good and where the Dockers actually lying this part of the season. I mean, we're talking about fumbling the ball and all this type of jazz. Just a little bit out of form. But I think this is where, and I think everyone will agree, you benefit so much more when you're having a tough run to the finals, when you're playing good sides leading into the finals, and playing the top sides that are vying for the final spots. I think it's better because I think that then lifts your performance and makes you play better football. You've got to get everything right to go on to finals. And this is where I was saying about Geelong. Although Geelong won today, of course, Geelong down there, 17-11-113, defeated St Kilda 12-10-82. Geelong have got to play, they don't play another team in the top 9. They play all teams, 10th and lower for the rest of the home and away season. I can't see how that's good for Geelong running into the finals when they're going to be playing, the top 8 sides. It's just a whole different ball game of football. This is a good game for Freo if they can hang in to the top 8 this year. Hopefully they do. I'd like to see the Dockers get in there. They were stiff last year and, some things just haven't quite gone their way. And I think if they just have that little bit of belief, they can certainly hang in there. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's just roll back down to the commentators for a moment.
Brilliant soccer goal by Jamie Elliott, one of the highlights in what has been an exceptional forward half game by the Pies, Gary Lyon and Jordan Lewis. It is hot down there.
I'd imagine it is sitting here, Sarah. It's been an outstanding game of footy. I've loved every minute of it, Geordie. It's been really definitive styles of footy, and the pressure from Collingwood in their front half has led to some extraordinary numbers early in the piece.
Well, that's been the difficult thing for Fremantle to try and get it out of their back half. So you look at the forward half pressure, you look at the tackles in their forward half, 21 forward half tackles. That's their 4th best return under McRae, and it's only a half of football, Sarah.
And they live by it, Sarah. They set themselves for it. All of a sudden, Freo can't get the footy out of their back half, and their pressure number goes through the roof as a result. So they've coached it and they've executed it.
They certainly swarm in numbers inside forward 50. So as we said, 207 the pressure rating. And there's just so many examples, Jordan, of the Pies doing this better than most in the competition, and that's why they're at the top.
Yeah, I think it is. It's been one of those halves where I think it is a look at Fremantle, but also Collingwood's pressure and their ability to generate turnovers in their front half. I think Fremantle overused the ball, to be honest, in the first half as well in their forward half.
And they invite it. So this is what we're showing you here. That's what you're talking about. You handball like that, you invite pressure. And this is what they put their cornerstone of their whole game is. They go and attack you, and they'll come at you. And the turnovers that Fremantle did in the front half of both quarters is magnificent. There's Schultz again laying the big tackle. That results in a shot at goal from, I think it was Dacos in the end. So this is the stuff that has been so impressive. How many forward 50 tackles?
21 for the half.
Gee, and this ends up in a goal on the side bottom again. So from that point of view, I don't think you can have a better exhibition of front half pressure, turn the footy over, go back and score than what Collingwood have managed. So for Fremantle to be as close as they are, I think it's an outstanding performance.
Gaz, Patrick Voss loomed large. He's kicked 4 goals that forced Craig McRae to reshift the defensive line. The way he was leading for the football just wasn't working with the Pies.
Yeah, and is there a little Achilles heel that's just starting to expose itself here from a Collingwood point of view? I know Frampton's not the biggest name in the competition, but it does mean that some of these blokes have got to play different roles. Darcy Moore is as good an intercept defender as you'll see, as good a one-on-one, side-to-side in a contest. Not so good at this. And so Voss went to work at it. Clearly it was a plan, Geordie. They opened it up. There's the leading lane. Darcy's on the back foot because he likes to be on the back foot. So Voss played his role magnificently. Kicked 3 first quarter goals, took 3 uncontested marks inside the forward 50 for the Fremantle Footy Club, and he's now got 4 goals. As a result of that, in his second quarter, all of a sudden Maynard has to swing across. Moore ends up with Tracy and one other. So I think they've had a big win there, Sir.
So Maynard now becomes more of a lockdown, so you lose a little bit of run. So I think their forward structure at the moment has dictated to how Collingwood play out of their back half.
I think one thing that frustrates fans about football and umpiring is when we have rules of the week or things that come
Gary.
and go. We are going to have a look at a moment of dissent and then we'll get the boys' reaction.
tackle. Collingwood. Wait, you got the mark, Carl? Thank you. Stand down. 50 metres, point at the scoreboard. Umpire descent.
So technically it probably is dissent, but we would see thousands of examples of that, Gaz, over the course of the weekend. It has to be consistent.
I might have gone over the top, but that just annoys me no end. If you are going to pay that, you're paying 50 of those free kicks a weekend for the last 18 weeks. And what? In round 19, halfway through the second quarter of a Sunday game, you decide that that's dissent. That is rubbish, and that's why we lose our confidence in the umpire department. That is just that's not on that.
George?
I'm not as passionate about it as Gary,
Well,
but
pay it. If you're going to pay it every single time.
Yeah, I think that's the argument. In a game that has been so good, we shouldn't be talking about that at halftime.
All right, Hayden Young surprisingly was made the sub coming into this game. He spent most of the first half dressed in full civvies. He had the tracksuit pants and the jumper on. It is cold here, but perhaps not that cold. Towards the end, as it got closer to halftime, he got his hamstrings worked on the sidelines. He's been kicking the ball behind us just before. So, Gary, you would think that they're going to deploy him soon.
Well, it's a nice one to have up your back pocket. There's no question about that. But they're competing really strongly against the best team in the competition, so there's no need at the moment. They've responded after Collingwood dominated the front half of both quarters. They're in a good spot.
Let's head to Fox Footy HQ where David Zeta has all the day's news. Zeets, if we're having a look at a couple of Collingwood stars, when might we see Jordan De Goey and Bobby Hill back in the side?
Well, that's the question many a Pies fan is asking at the moment. So on Bobby Hill's case, he nearly missed a month of training, really, with personal issues and illness rolled into one, really. So he has missed a fair chunk of training. He was back training over the course of this week. So the Pies are saying they are not rushing Bobby Hill back into senior footy. They're going to make sure that if he can train fully next week and he's in a good headspace, then they will consider ramping up talks about when he could potentially return. So they are being very cautious with him at the moment, given the amount of training he has missed. Jordan De Goey, he trained today with a group of the rehab guys and he got through okay. He was concussed just as he was getting back into full training from that training incident. So we saw that with Braden Maynard, and that meant that his return was delayed by 2 weeks as a result. So it came at the worst possible time for him. The good news is that he is getting closer and closer. They want to try and make sure he can get into some full match practice and get himself closer to a return. That may come by the VFL, it may come by the AFL. As soon as next week, but they are adamant they are not going to rush Jordan De Goey back, given it has not been a clean rehabilitation period for him. It has been bumpy, so they want to make sure he is cherry ripe for the finals. So that's where two of Collingwood's stars sit in terms of their rehabilitation and potential return dates. Geelong has just had a 31-point win over St Kilda, so a good win for the Cats in keeping their top four hopes alive. St Kilda obviously got the job done against the Cats earlier this season, but Tom Stewart did suffer an injury concern in this match that saw him subbed out of the game. So he had heavy strapping on his right knee, which he injured earlier this season, and he had ice on the left, which is the one that he is believed to have injured today. So Chris Scott will speak shortly. It'll be interesting to hear from him what is going on with Tom Stewart and whether he'll be okay for next week and the run to the finals. And we are waiting for the MRO's results on Stephen May and whether he will be suspended for at least 3 weeks for a bump on Francis Evans, or whether this was an incident that was fine and no case to answer for. So a really interesting one to worry about, Dwayne, as we speak about this incident. It is an incredibly difficult one to look at, and Stephen May, he will be nervously awaiting the MRO findings, which will drop over the next hour, Dwayne.
Spot on, Zeets. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on this one in the second half as well. Going to be huge. Fremantle just 7 points down as the Oz Kickers have a run around. Is there a next Nick Dacos or Heath Chapman out there? Don't go anywhere. 54 plays 47.
All right. Back to us. They'll be back not too far. Ubicon, how you going? G'day, mate. Been a good game so far. Yeah, it's been a cracking game so far. Ebbed and flowed. Few lead changes. What we like to see. I tell you what, it doesn't matter who you barrack for. We've got a lot of Freo supporters in the chat. Got a lot of Collingwood supporters in the chat like me. But we just, we don't really want to see a thrashing. We want to see a good game. We want to see the both teams, have a real ring-a-ding-ding game, makes it a lot more exciting. And of course, you know, we all want these two teams in the finals. I think that's good for football. Tigers should be happy winning 3 flags of late. The Tigers, I tell you what, the Tigers had a fantastic run at one stage. I tell you what, people were writing them off at the start of the year. They said they were going to be bottom of the ladder. I tell you what, the way the Tigers have gone through this year, I think they've been a real big win for the Tigers this year. They've gone really good. And they're certainly looking at, you know, coming on even stronger next season and the season after. I can see the Tigers being a threat in the next couple of seasons. What do you mean? You don't want Freo in there? I tell you what, I prefer Freo in there than the Western Bulldogs. That is for sure. If the Western Bulldogs get on a run, they could cause some damage in there. Hopefully next year we can be top 8. Hey, you never know. You just never know. You just never know. I still think that, you know, a lot of their players still might need another season, season them up a little bit, and get a little bit stronger bodies, being able to play 4 quarters, you know, like a full season. It's not easy. It's not easy. As you see, a lot of the teams up the top of the ladder, you know, they're not like, you know, first, second, third year players. Like, these are seasoned players, Collingwood players, Adelaide players, Brisbane players, Geelong players. They're all well and truly seasoned football players, you know, and that's where you see them up there, because their bodies can just, you know, cope with it for the entire season. Hey, before we go any further, just for Adrian, let's have a look at the ladder. Holy mollies, that Gold Coast game has already started. So Adelaide, there we go. Oh my gosh. All right, hang on. Let me just go and have a look at that Adelaide game. It's 2 minutes into the first quarter over there, Adelaide and Gold Coast Sun. Adelaide have kicked 1 goal, 6. Suns yet to score. All right, let's just have a quick look at the goal scorers so far in the game. And I tell you what, Patrick Voss looks fantastic. We know how good Darcy Moore is as the backman, but I tell you what, Paddy Voss has certainly got him for speed, and he positions right. I don't think Darcy Moore can get to him. So that's why Paddy Voss is going well with the 3 marks inside 50. Fantastic. 4 goals, 1. He's still going to be a danger. They might have to do something with him if Freo sort of get in front and he keeps causing havoc. Who else? Caleb Sarong, he's kicked 1. Sean Darcy and Joe Misses kicked the other singles for Freo. For the Maggies, 3 multiples, still side bottom, Brody Mycheck. Jamie Elliott all kicked 2. Lockie Schultz, Nick Dacos 1. There we go. Let's have a look at the disposal getters. Nick Dacos tops the table with 20 out there. I tell you what, I thought he was a little bit quiet and late in that second term. I'll have to keep my eye on him a little bit more. I don't think he's been as damaging with his 20 disposals out there today, though. 3 clearances, 1 goal, not too bad. Of course, Caleb Sarong continues to lead the way for the Dockers. He's having a reasonably good game now on 18, 4 clearances and a goal. Josh Dacos, the Dacos boys, probably the best brothers to go around in AFL history. 16, 2 clearances. There we go. Jordan Clark on 14. Then you got the next 3 on the Dockers. Shai Bolton up to 12 possessions, 2 behinds. I tell you what, hey, you know, if we're talking about the best moves this season in football, the best dodges, the best weaves, Shai Bolton must have got the 3 votes on that one. If you were watching the game and you saw that was about a minute to go in the game, there was about 5 Collingwood players tried to tackle him. He just bobbed and weaved and ducked, and they couldn't touch him. Fantastic. That was spectacular to see. Bolts needs to do it. I tell you what, at least he's getting his mitts on the ball. He's showing a little bit. He just needs to finish it off, you know, and he could certainly do that in the second half, just kicking the 2 behind so far. For the Magpies, Bo McCreary, I tell you what, he's a fantastic back in, 11 touches. I tell you what, he is one pressure act guy that continues to run hard and chase hard. He is fantastic. All right, who else we got down there? Scotty Pendleby's a little bit quiet. Andy Brayshaw just on the 10, didn't have too much in that second term there. Still side bottom. He needs to do a little bit more. I know he's kicked 2 goals, but they were pretty. They'll give me goals for him. There we go, just on the 8 possessions. Good to see Pat Lipinski back in the action. Matty Johnson there on 8 there. Luke Jackson, that was the one I was trying to think of in the second half. For Freo, I was thinking to myself, Luke Jackson needs to get on his bike and start pedaling a little bit more. He needs to lift for the Fremantle. I tell you what, I've seen him play a few games recently. He's been sensational. He's only had the 8 touches though today. One kick, 7 handballs. He's had 5 tackles, a clearance, 8 hit-outs. That's about it. He needs to get on his bike for Freo to step up their game again. Mason Cox, look, I tell you what, he'd certainly be worth a trade, I think. Look, I know he's a tall, but geez, I tell you what, he goes up for one. He's not really good in the mitt department on marking the ball. And, he hasn't really got the other efforts. There we go. There's only 10 disposals separating them, Dockers by 10. Free kicks, well, there we go, 13-6. Collingwood, I can't believe that. That's just staggering. I just wanted to have a little bit of a look at that because it was, there we go. 6 free kicks to the Dockers, 3 of them resulting in goals, umpire goals. Centre all. There we go. Hey, that's enough of me talking. Let's get back down to the action for the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. It's the Magpies by 7 points. Let's continue this ring-a-ding-ding game.
Long holding the ball. So McCreary's going to come up with it, scampers off with it, and then Switkowski stole it. Literally picked his pocket. Quick hands through the middle, Sarong. Brayshaw, kick inside 50. No mark taken by Amos. Maynard with the crumbs. Quaynor with the hurried kick outside 50. Allen sets himself at the front. No mark. O'Driscoll beat him to the punch. Then to Brayshaw. Brayshaw's hurried kick inside 50. Quaynor called to play on. He does to Crisp. And as they work it along the back, Allen, here they go again through Quaynor.
Terrific hands by Nick Dacos. He might get it back here.
Cameron sees him. You can't ignore him. You have to give it. He's a better kick. He heads wide towards McStay. Couldn't quite trap it. Chapman takes it to the line.
Big missed opportunity for you turn the footy over in the middle of the ground like that, you've got to score. Everyone's offside. And the Brayshaw kick inside to Amos just hung in the air, allowed Dean to get the punch in. So it's the only area Andrew Brayshaw's got to get into superstar status is to get return for his possessions.
He gets plenty of it. 29 possessions last week against Hawthorn as well. The hand off to Johnson on the move. Spears it long. Dean on the back pedal with Amos. Almost plucked the one-hander. Kept it in front. Brilliance there. Young of games, but solid of mind. Out wide to Sullivan. Can he get in turn? He wanted to get in turn, but he's rolled in the tackle brilliantly by Warner. And he handballed it toward Mason Cox on the line. All in.
Well done, Charlie Dean. He's had 2 big wins to start the quarter. Starting 9 games in Tony's 10th game.
Look about the handball.
Exposed one-on-one and he just polyfarmed it out.
Cameron looking for Sullivan. Sarong there. And eventually out in front of the members.
Fremantle staying with 6 forwards ahead of the ball, so once again trying to make Collingwood accountable. Collingwood just the 3 forwards ahead of the ball, so 2 high half forwards really high up, trying to impact the stoppage.
Darcy and Cameron wrestle. Sarong driven into the ground by Josh Dacos, and he gets a free kick for his troubles.
And he was face planted.
So this is how we saw Fremantle build the ball up before. Just be really patient and try and pick holes in the Collingwood defence.
Yeah, after he picks the grass out of his teeth. To Johnson.
Got Jackson and Tracy long down the line here. Jackson's up again. Well, he's going over the top of Cameron. Jackson's on Nick Dacos.
He sits it up in hope. Voss is lurking. Couldn't get the run at it. And Cameron solid as ever. There's Max Gawn. There's Cherry. There's Grundy. There's Cameron also in the All-Australian ruck equation. And Nick Dacos, clever enough to talk the umpire into that 50.
Well, he might get 100 if Tracy doesn't get out of the road.
Too good down the line, Cameron. They had all the big guns there, Freo, and Cameron took it uncontested in the end.
So brothers Dacos combine again. Josh with the footy on the flank. Ball to the spine. Cox in the right spot. To ground it goes. And through Clark. It's Warner, Johnson. Oh, he's going to run into a pie wall here in a moment. Warner, and then Clark just blazes away outside 50. Darcy couldn't quite mark it, but he gets a free kick for over the shoulder. Tracy, advantage paid, got a lot of advantage in the end. And players almost...
That's weird. That table stopped. Umpires told him to keep going. Darcy Moore stopped. Voss stopped.
Well, the whole
umpire
field
just
stopped.
said, keep going, boys.
No, there was no advantage whatsoever there.
They've got to get back in control, the boys in green.
That was weird. Tracy looked up, and the umpire said, play on advantage. It almost was like a demand, the way it was said to him, as opposed to, do you want to? Darcy and Jackson, nice combo, the two number one rucks. Sarong inside, Quainer the other way, ran into a brick wall. Sikowski was solid. Jackson there, huge ball to win. Markov in the thick of it. Brayshaw with the head down. Ball rolls to side bottom. Frederick side bottom, hacks it away with a toe. Sullivan, little trap, Warner, Sullivan, Warner. Collingwood 3.
Yep, getting held. Not much ahead of the ball for Quaynor here.
Quaynor heads in the Elliott direction. Ryan was right there. And Cox with Ryan. Elliott. Ferocious again. Brayshaw. Cox couldn't quite pick up the half volley, but managed to fumble it out to Clark. Clark runs laterally, and out he goes to O'Driscoll. So plenty of pressure on Fremantle across half back, but they work it eventually out to Bolton.
Belief high amongst the Fremantle players at the moment. You can feel the Collingwood crowd know it.
They've got a big mismatch if they get down the ground long. Voss has got Quainer deep. It's a kick and a half away.
Tracy, 1-2. He's got it.
Got to go quick.
Smacks it to the pocket. Amos. Good hands, and they are rising in confidence.
Painted against Voss, who was trying to hold Quaynor out in the marking contest to allow Amos to mark. Like to see it again.
One of those little things that can be massive.
Pushed him. He went to ground. I don't know about that, Jordan.
50-50.
Quaynor's kick. Cameron at the back. Pendlebury. Going to trundle the ball to Elliott. Elliott waits. Make sure it sits up for him, and then Ryan, a couple of steps from him, really worked him over and got a free kick.
That's a double whammy. Really good pressure, closed in the space. He clearly didn't want James. It's once again unlucky, but free kick has been paid.
Does some good things early in the third term, Ryan, and then a strange banana kick straight down the throat of Josh Dacos.
Pressure being felt by both teams at the moment.
Well, both sides just being rushed a little bit, Dwayne.
Yeah.
With ball in hand. It's just showing a little bit more composure by Collingwood.
Launch to the Elliott direction. Clark's going to have to go. Another free's been found, and Fremantle's ball to McDonald.
There's Jamie Elliott on that occasion. Just wonder whether they try and change the angles here, Fremantle. Darcy Cameron's the player down the line that you want to try and avoid, but they're well set up.
Wide ball. Bolton have tried to edge the pack out, but Darcy Cameron solid as ever in a one-on-one there for Sean Darcy.
And this is for Sean Darcy. He's just got to halve it. I mean, that's two big plays down the line that Cameron's marked it. Now we'll put it back, into their attacking half. So that's a challenge for Sean Darcy. No more for Darcy Cameron down the line like that. It's too good.
Yeah, you sometimes lose trust in your big men if they don't get the job done.
Yeah, and we're not saying you have to mark it. It's damn hard against Darcy Cameron, but you just got to make sure the ball goes to ground.
So no score so far in the third term. Kick attracts a crowd. Darcy's fist. Clark there. Lipinski grabs him.
Still no Hayden Young. I thought for sure he was going to come on after half-time.
Cox and Darcy. Bobbles out of the hand of Brayshaw, and then Sarong stops the right, throws it on the boot, but only for a short time as it's out of bounds.
So the patterns of the first two quarters, Matty, is that the ball goes inside Collingwood's forward 50 and they keep it there. So again, they're working hard. They haven't been able to cash in just yet.
Yeah, they're going to go long down the line again.
Every Fremantle player in front of him sits it up. Jackson.
It was well read by both Darcy and Jackson. The last couple of times they've gone really shallow to the boundary line. Darcy Cameron had set himself up in the corridor. And Fremantle on that occasion were onto it. Try and change the angles here. I like this a little bit better. Just try and get around the congestion. Try and put some speed on the ball.
So Chapman doesn't just beyond his reach. So the idea was right, the execution obviously not.
It's hard enough getting it out of there without making that fundamental mistake from Oscar McDonald. It'll be worse if they score from it.
Still side bottom free, defensive side. Sullivan free as well. Strong comes in late. Josh Dacos gets one in the chops and taken by a couple of Dockers. Cameron. Sullivan back to Josh Dacos. Swings around with great pace. It's a wobbly one. Elliott couldn't drag it in. Came to Pendlebury. Now Elliott tries to break free. Is Aaron Handball looking for Sullivan and out. It just builds pressure on the Fremantle Football Club, having to defend for a long period of time. So there, Jamie Elliott had a good chunk of that. Once again, you've got to stay alert if you're Fremantle.
Yeah, it's on a nice edge right now. Every fan here on the edge of their seats. Sullivan goes. Filipinski went inside. Great smother. Clark. 45-degree angle smother. They've turned it over. Handles. Sullivan. Bang. Give him a sniff. They'll hurt you.
Well, there's an inevitability about it, Dwayno, and this is what, as we said all day, that Collingwood have based their game on, is their forward half pressure, and it's nothing, it's not groundbreaking, but you need players that are prepared to do it. So the pressure from Freo here in the end is great. The tackle, the smother, then you think you're out, but no. Then Bro McCreary says you're not out, and the ball ends up going in the hands of Pendlebury, which generally means good things. So look at this. It's a great example of where the game's at. Freo didn't do a hell of a lot wrong. It was just the pressure overwhelmed them in the end on the back of a McCreary tackle. And here it comes here. That's just no time, no space. Turn the footy over. Good hands, Pendlebury, back goal.
You could even trace it back to the unforced error by McDonald. That's why you've got to be so clean with the ball in the back half. Collingwood's front half game today is phenomenal. Second year as a Pie. Sullivan with the goal. Nick Dacos just with great speed and diligence. He's kicking side 50, filling the hole. Cox.
Yeah, Cox wasn't in a great position when Nick Dacos, the ball left his boot. It just fought his way to the front.
So we talked about the territory. Their ability to score when they go in Fremantle has been off the charts. It's just their ability to get there.
Get it there at the moment.
They only had 21 inside 50s for the game to 39 for Collingwood, but they've scored 12 times from 21. Collingwood won't let them get it in there.
So Chapman, as Dockers are a bit locked in again, inside defensive 50. Quick hands by Dacos out to Allen. Allen back to Dacos inboards. Sells some candy. Kick inside 50. It's a wide one, but it's going to be too wide. It just scampered off the deck towards Elliott.
And I think credit has to go to Collingwood. If you looked at the first half and especially the second quarter, Fremantle's ability to pick them apart and just find those 25-metre kicks, build the ball up. It's one of the things that Collingwood have denied this quarter. Force them long down the line.
Danger again here for Fremantle. And there's a hold. And is it going to...
Yeah,
a bit of ruck on it, maybe. It's Milchek's ball. Oh, yeah, over his shoulder a bit. Fans just seeing the replay on the big screen of this. No kiss cam on the big screen at half-time. Plenty of highlights, though, from both these teams at the half. And can they turn it on in the second? Host. And a good return game for Brody Milchek, though.
I'd like to see a bit of speed on the ball. I know it hasn't been a feature of Fremantle's game at the moment, but they need to try something different out of their back half. Roll and go. Handball receives. Because right now, Collingwood, when they're facing Fremantle defensively, too strong.
Yeah, and when the ball's in dispute, 40 front half tackles for Collingwood. So you know what's coming.
Banfield. No mark. Cameron or Moore, who just bunts it out. Long. Handball, tried to sit it out for McCreery, who was able to grab the half volley, but they grabbed him. And holding it too.
It's his first mistake, Bo McCreery. He's been outstanding, mate. 8 tackles himself, so magnificent tackle from Jordan Clark, but geez, had an impact, Bo McCreery.
It's the second halves of quarters that Fremantle have been better in this game so far.
Yeah, they kind of wear him down, Duana, you're right. They've got to find a way forward, though.
Driscoll wide, if you can see.
Darcy Cameron in the spot. Moore from 4 deep with the double fister. Side bottom tried to knock on. Long. Tried to turn inside but slipped. Sidey content to let that roll out.
Just looking for Hayden Young. Trying to find out where he is. He's up. He's jogging on the spot, Geordie. Whatever that means.
Just trying to catch the attention of the coach's box, I think.
Like Des Tuddenham in the house. Son Paul's a board member.
A rare day away from the Railway Hotel. As Wagner fumbled it. Dacos. Drop punt. Dockers with the numbers here. Cox has patted it down to Sarong. They grab him.
That's a great pickup. I know it hasn't resulted in anything, but he fumbles there, and there's 4 Collingwood players that are all over him. So he's clean as a whistle, Caleb Sarong.
So Cameron. Schultz side bottom. Looks further afield, hoping for Meyer. Check. It was touched off the boot, fell in the lap of Cox, handball Ryan, and then Johnson almost slipped over. Wagner, Ryan, and then just bangs it outside 50. Off a step, the big fly, no mark. Amos fell to ground. Maynard went in, won the football, or at least helped to win it. And then Sullivan's kick, just a kick and hope. O'Driscoll.
Heads out wide. O'Meara, strange option in the middle of 2 Magpies. Allen got there, flicked it up, might work. Little knock on. Murphy Reid on hands and knees. Out wide to Chapman. Allen right with him. Dive in Reid. Huge ball to win. Collingwood win it. Pendlebury, little delay step to Perryman. Heads inside 50 towards Myercheck. Got a fist away. Ryan's there. Sarong again, clean-handed. Took the heat. 3 Magpies on him, but he's got the share, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, the ball has lived in Collingwood's front half, 75% in their forward half, 11 inside 50s to 3. The one thing saving Fremantle at the moment, they've only given up 1 goal.
Yeah, they're holding up okay, actually, for the 11 insides.
Darcy, Sarong, Ryan had a fresh area, and then Elliott just stole it. Dockers still have the numbers in defence. Cox with the mark.
This has been the challenge, though, Hilly. The real challenge. Just see here, another force long down the line.
Forced back again. Long ball outside 50, and it's going to come back from where it came. Cameron.
Sean Darcy's going to get another message in a minute. That's 3 big contested marks from an intercept point of view for Darcy Cameron, with Sean Darcy in the area.
You're better off to go to a different one-on-one.
He pointed long, went to Josh Dacos. Perryman.
They're going to need to kick their way through this.
I was going to say, there's not much deep.
Waynor. Has he got this in him? Josh Dacos was lurking. Isaac says, I might be right here. Hasn't kicked one all year, 5 for his career.
Just be on high alert, wouldn't you? Just in case.
5 more metres. Thanks, mate. Play on.
Launches. Hasn't quite got the carry. Fisted through. This is the biggest margin either team has had for the day. 15 points. 7:21 to 3/4 time.
So about 33 metres by hand for the quarter, Freo. So again, not really wanting to take the game on, get forward, or when I say not wanting to, not able to because of what Collingwood have put in place.
So Clark's long ball, Maynard with the fist, fell in the lap of O'Meara. They got him.
I wonder whether Hayden Young's got to be deployed and either put onto a half-back flank and try and get the ball in his hands and kick your way through this a bit.
Jumpers coming off Gaz, and he's been warming up. It looks like it's close.
I like it.
So Jones on the boundary is Sarong with the hack, high kick, Amos. Little push from Maynard. Play on was the call. Josh Dacos just bunts it along the ground, and then Reid grabbed him He had it with one hand, holding the football.
I mean, the impressive part is just Collingwood numbers around the contest. Even if that ball had spilt out, Collingwood were +3. So then it's their ability to chain up and go back inside forward 50.
Quaynor, there's a triple change on the Collingwood bench, and they had men free on this wing. Long kicks it long. Hurt as he wants. Got Mycheck, Schultz, big grab, Johnson.
So I think that's the change. You're talking about Collingwood in their front half game. Too often I think they've gone long inside their own forward 50, which Fremantle have defended that ball all right.
Yeah, standing up really well. 13 inside 50s, only given up the one goal. Pressure's enormous, so they're standing up. But the next part here is what is the massive problem. And the slower they go and the more sideways they go, the better Collingwood set up behind the ball.
What you're saying, Geordie, you don't need a goal now. You just need a goal next.
Need it next. It's as true for Fremantle. Here they go.
So Reid breaks away from the congestion. Now some action left of screen, and Jackson with the mark.
He's got to get up quick.
Waits for the cavalry to arrive. Little lead from Frederick. Ignores there. Thinks about going short. Goes long in the Frederick direction and the Voss direction. Frederick, not quite. Takes the footy. Then got it to Voss. He was grabbed. And they go to ground.
Oh, Murphy Reid, he continues to impress. He's a super talent. He was the one that got the hands here on centre wing just to help him get through. Get to a place they haven't been to for a long time. They're forward 50.
Flung in the air. Huge ball to win here. Reid was on the run. Nick Dacos flicks it out. He knew he had friends. It's amazing how he knows where the fellow Collingwood bodies are, but crisp out on the foot. It'll be coming back.
Yeah, it's so important they give their defensive six a bit of a spell here as well. Can't just let Collingwood transition back. All 36 players in one half of the ground here.
McDonald. He made Ryan work for that. Go get it so I can get it back.
That's a couple of times he's just missed fundamentally.
I think this kick will be going inside forward 50.
So Jackson's there, Darcy's there. He pulls it for the leaders. Amos tried to get there. And guess who? Nick Dacos read it to perfection and lace out with a ribbon on it to Allen.
He's got overlap here if they can find it.
Over to Quaynor, who's had a busy third term. Schultz, clean. Markov looks inboard. Has Allen with some room to move. By hand back to Quaynor. Johnson pressuring him. Markov just kept running in a straight line. Then to Quaynor, sold some candy. Low one and not long enough and out.
I mean, it wasn't a great kick by Quaynor, but his run was so important. He took off from half back, was involved a couple of times. We see there Hayden Young. 4 minutes to go in the third term. I thought he would have been deployed before this.
A little bit different to the Nat Fyfe situation a few weeks ago where he was the sub and didn't come on at all. Up was injured. Long, good spot to have it. Centering kick. Banfield in the hole. Great hands. Saves the day again. Quick pass out wide to try and take him on. Warner dragged down so he can't go. Held up. Mycheck held up. Almost got him by the shoe, but he backpedals.
Well done, Mycheck. I mean, as we said, they're standing up so well. He just held them up. Got big protection down the line.
Kick to the wing. Jackson at the front. Moore with the big fists. Clark. O'Driscoll looking for Clark again. Moore just working overtime. But O'Meara grabbed the footy and gave it to Jackson, and they might be open here. Darcy. Wagner flying through the middle. Kick Voss at the back. Little nudge to Quaynor. It's good enough. Voss has kicked 5. Big fist pump. After being scoreless for about 25 minutes, they hit back, and it's back to a 9-point ball game.
14 inside 50s, 1 goal, 2 Collingwood, 6 inside 50s. They hit the scoreboard. This is the play here. This is what they haven't been able to do. Get their hands going. Did some forward handballs, bit untidy here. Ball comes out there, that one. Then that sets the ball free. Jackson, the athlete, gets running. So great run support from Wagner. So you'd think they've got to be prepared to use their hands, get out of that contest, get out of the congestion where Collingwood love to live. They're as good as anyone in tight Collingwood. They've got to find some space and hands and legs. There's the legs from Warner that finishes it off, and this is a nice finish from Voss, who's had a big afternoon.
Hayden Young out at the centre bounce. The wait's finally over. His first game since round 8 and that hamstring surgery.
She's to be fresh.
side by side with McCreary. They palm it toward him. Pendlebury sidestep, ducked out of a jam, almost too slick for his own shoes. Fell over. O'Meara tried the 1-2, goes to Brayshaw. Here's Young on the move. Switkowski a little too swift for Switkowski. Collingwood on the rebound. Lipinski hunted down, just got the kick away. Big Mason went down low, back to the lip, looks up, pocket, pass, McStay over his head. All in.
Shea Bolton on his own inside forward 50 when they slipped over going forward. Then Fremantle just missed a golden opportunity. Wagner it is that sits. Young involved in the Warner sits, and Young involved in the build-up and the passage straight away.
Big 3 minutes left in the third term. Darcy down towards Brayshaw. Long sniffing a goal. Going to ground, Ryan.
Sean, Mason.
Ooh, it's set up. It's set up beautifully, this game.
Straight back, Lockie.
Flicked up. Cox tried to flick it behind it towards O'Creary. First involvement from Young. Skies one in the Switkowski direction. Perriman with the fist. Brayshaw back to Young. Young's darting ball, errant. Moore couldn't mark it. Tracy fell over it. Perryman's little hurried kicks. Too high. And it's Brayshaw.
Defended brilliantly the Fremantle Dockers this quarter.
That's their 7th mark, intercept mark inside the forward 50, in D50 for Fremantle.
Banfield bumped legally, and that was enough to send the kick out on the full.
It's McCreary again, Dwayno. He's just been unbelievable in terms of that pressure build.
It's your McCreary theory. Forward pressure for Collingwood is a difference maker. Perryman puts it back in the Mason Cox direction. Cox fist of the Fremantle variety wins. Chaos ball. Side bottom. Sullivan, Wagner.
Lucky. Yeah. Lucky there. Looked like he was about to fend off Wagner.
He did brace for contact, but he didn't throw an arm out. And I reckon that was the difference. He just held out. No Fremantle ruck. Cox knocks it down. Shoots a knock on. O'Driscoll. Banfield was held, didn't have it. So 1:48 left for maybe a late Fremantle score if they're good enough from here.
Well, they've got extras at the long contest down the line. If Jackson can have it, Switkowski's the other one.
Banfield towards Switkowski through his fingertips. Moore, Cameron, Perryman, no room.
Luke, are you up? Luke, Darcy.
Early involvement since being subbed on. Hayden Young.
Didn't take him long to get involved, Tilly.
No, third in the best and fairest last year for the Dockers. Undoubtable talent of Schultz. Flicked it out to Long, trying to control it. Clark trying to negate that. Did well, Long to McCreary. Then Lipinski. And in the end, the lip just with a little bit of a slip out.
How big would this be for Fremantle to get a win over the top of the pops, Collingwood, at the home of footy? Don't need to prove anything to the footy world, but what would it prove to themselves? Brayshaw hammered, little knock on. Young dragged down.
Yeah, once again, though, you don't want this story to be repeated from a Fremantle point of view. Collingwood have been really dangerous in this situation.
Jackson got up high, knocked it down. O'Meara knew the tackle was coming. Was that a handball? Pendlebury. Was that a handball? Long meat in a sandwich.
Yeah, look, like to see that other one on the slow-mo. Yeah, O'Meara took him on. How's he get rid of this?
Was he lucky he might have got a boot to it, did he?
Oh, that's serious.
So 50 seconds left in the third term. Pendlebury just tries to give McStay a chance. A little bit fumbly. Cox, Banfield, tunnel ball. Young with 3 pies bearing down on him. Blazers outside 50. Crisp dropped it. Amos took it to ground. Pendlebury and also Perryman there on the scene, including Perryman sitting over the top of him.
Dodged the big bullet free. That was a free kick against Daniel O'Meara earlier in the
They're defending well this quarter.
They've held up, and that's the message that Justin Long now will be telling them. And Craig McRae would be saying, boys, we're getting great looks. We've just got to make the most of it. 19 inside 50s for the quarter for 1 goal.
So that wide kick from Amos is eventually out of play with 15 seconds left.
So I think if the education at three-quarter time for Collingwood is lower your eyes a little bit, build the ball up a little bit, get that ball to 50 to 60 metres, and then make decisions. Too high, too long this quarter.
Biggest margin to either team's been Collingwood's 14-point margin. Time enough for something wild to happen here. Brayshaw ducked out of a jam, ducked into one as well. Schultz kicks it off the deck. Umpires found a free, and it's going to come back. The mark will not count. And the Collingwood fans going crazy.
And the siren's going to go, Wayne.
Not allowed to have an advantage. Seconds ticked off the clock there as well. And now the siren sounds. But the stage is set for a massive final turn here. 65 to 70,000 Collingwood fans. The biggest test in football is the Collingwood MCG last quarter test. Can Fremantle get up from 9 down? 9-8-62 to 8-5-53. Do not go anywhere. Great to have you company on Fox Footy.
Do not go anywhere. We've still got a quarter to go. Not always. Umps have cost us 3 wins this season. I'll tell you what, they just cost us a goal then. Give that 4 goals to the Dockers in favour of them from the umpires. I thought if you take the advantage, it's advantage play on. Just like when the Dockers took it earlier and the play pretty much stopped, but the umpire said, no, it's advantage. But when the Collingwood player kicks it off the ground, that should be advantage. Mark, shot on goal. No, bring it back. Come on, umpires. There we go, 3/4 time. So Magpies 9-8-62 leading the Dockers 8-5-53. It's the Maggies by 9 points. 3/4 time. Umpires gave you the game against us. Did that? I can't remember that. I can't. No. Oh, against Geelong. Yeah, I think the games we lost, we've only lost 3. We lost the first by 52 points. GWS, then I think we lost 3 points to Geelong. And then it was that tight game against the Gold Coast. Yeah, the umps are helping Freo. Oh, there is no doubt the umps are definitely helping Freo. You know what? I'll tell you what's helping Freo. I'll give you a good example what's helping Freo. That's Collingwood. They're helping Freo. I tell you what, they were talking about the ball living down Collingwood's forward half that quarter. It was. The Freo defenders did well. They were loving that, actually, because Collingwood, it reminded me a bit of Carlton going inside their forward 50. There was just no composure at all from the Collingwood side, kicking it inside 50. They were just kicking it without looking, bombing it in, and sometimes it was like 2 and 3 against one player. I don't know what they're doing. The commentator said it exactly right. When you're going inside forward 50, Collingwood, they need to compose themselves a little bit. They need to lower the eyes and just steady down a little bit. Don't just keep bombing it in. You're not going to go anywhere. You can see the Freo defenders, they just got big smiles on their faces when it's coming and the ball's just been bombed in there. That's what's happening. Collingwood have got free kicks. Yeah, they got the free kicks, but the free kicks, it's not how many free kicks are given. It's what free kicks are given and what aren't and where and what aren't, you know? Because, I mean, most of the free kicks are there, but there's always a handful free kicks that can really determine the game. And Freo have got 3 free kicks from the umpires today, which were very, very ordinary, which resulted in goals. But, you know, I mean, that being said, you want to be good enough to win the game, even if the umpires do give you a goal or 2. Let's hope the umpires put the whistle away a little bit in this final quarter and let the game be played by these 2 teams. I tell you what, it is a good battle. This is a good battle. Freo are doing well. You know what I'd do? If I was Freo coach, I'd say, you know what, boys, down the forward line, clear the forward line out. Clear the forward line out. Let Voss go one out down the forward line because Voss is doing his job down forward for Freo. He's just fantastic. I tell you what, he's got some speed and he's super hard to beat. Tell you what, that could be a little bit of a game plan for Freo if they just cleared that A little bit like Pagan's Paddy, cleared the forward out for Voss, have him down there, one-on-one. Tell you what, I reckon he'd win the contest down there for sure. He's pretty good. There we go. Tell you what, the Magpies only put on 1 goal too for all that time down there forward, and just a single goal to the Dockers in that in the third quarter. Tell you what, that was an absolute arm wrestle. Tell you what, there's no point having the ball down your forward 50 all the time if you're just going to bomb it in. And it was a recurring theme. Fremantle would get the ball out, it'd get to about half. Collingwood would rebound the ball back in. There'd be pressure to try and get it back down there forward 50. They'd get to about 65 out and they'd just bomb it. Half the time they wouldn't even look at the ball. They'd just bomb it. And it's like 2 and 3 defenders there against one. Just not good enough. So I tell you what, you know what though? That's a cracking game for a Collingwood and Freo supporter. This is the type of game that you'd be hoping for. And I think, if you're a Freo supporter, I think you should be really pleased with the way they're going. Even though they're behind at the moment, I tell you what, they've stood up against the good pressure of Collingwood, at least when the ball's been inside Collingwood's forward 50 so much. Freo have stopped the Maggies from actually scoring. So they've got to be really happy with where they sit. 9 points, that's what's that? 2 kicks. That can be got within a minute. If a team gets a little bit of a run on. So this game's still up for grabs at the moment. As I said, for Collingwood, they just need to lower their eyes, have a little bit more composure going inside forward 50. They need to look for that shorter kick instead of just bombing it all the time. Freo, you're doing a pretty good job there. You just got to try and work it out of your back line. Open the forward line up for Voss. He might just do the job for you. All right, folks, hey, let's head back down to the action for the final quarter. It's the Maggies by 9 points. Go Pies!
Hands thrown out all over the place, Matty. Here we go. Big finals implications as well from a Fremantle point of view.
9 points the margin as we lead into a magnificent final 30 minutes on Fox. Cameron and Jackson. Cameron read by Dacos. His hurry kick in the air, barely the required. O'Meara's marked it, and it was paid. Brayshaw then really sinks his boot into it towards the top of the square. Moore glancing across the pack with the defensive mark.
Tracy trying to drag Moore up. Moore's very happy to let him go and be that drop-off player.
Here's the Darcy. Cameron got up, couldn't bring the mark, but got a free kick.
Arms locked, I think, no doubt there.
A good change by Craig McRae to flick Maynard to Voss, who beat Darcy Moore early. Darcy Moore's having close to an All-Australian year. Maynard gets on the end of this, the man we're speaking of. Heads long, Jackson gets back. Little nudge. Collingwood free, McStay.
Didn't need it, had the 2-on-1. Didn't have to go and put that sort of pressure on.
Will Hoskin Elliott's out there, so Collingwood jump with their sub as well. Looks like Mason Cox might be done for the afternoon. We'll keep an eye on that as McStay heads wide. Will Hoskin Elliott! He crept up behind them all. They didn't even know it was on.
Well, the reason he ended up kicking it there was McStay kicked it there because Luke Jackson had gone down and sat in the hole, so it was probably the only space of ground that he could go to. I'm sure it was directed at Will Hoskin Elliott, but he'll take it.
Heading towards 200 career goals. He's got 195. He's got 196. The super sub. 1 kick, 1 goal, 1 piece of brilliance.
Outstanding.
I think it was directed at an Elliott. It just wasn't Hoskin Elliott in the end. But that is a kick they're prepared to take, Collingwood. It's short to the pocket when the opposition think they're going to the top of the goal square. And I like the trajectory. It wasn't a high ball, so they couldn't recover. You see there, just a nice little 7-iron. Yeah. Oscar McDonald on Jamie Elliott under the ball. And this is a quality finish. Better build up. Wasn't that sort of sky-high ball that we saw in the third term, which Fremantle were able to come across and impact.
So they didn't take a mark, did they, in that third quarter inside 51? One from 20.
Yep.
So that's the difference that you were talking about there. And a little bit of luck came into it. It was directed at Jamie Elliott, but ended up with number 32, and he's opened up the margin.
This is where you watch Nick Dacos get on the move.
So the fresh legs with a goal in the final term. Dacos off the ground. McCreary couldn't quite trap it. Hoskin Elliott again. Back to Long. Backtracks. Almost slips over. Then his kick inside 50. It's a bullet. Down they go. It comes out to Allen. Allen onto the right. Bouncing ball for another one. His first goal of the year. And what a time to do it.
Magnificent for that young man who's fighting desperately to make sure he's in the finals when the team when the finals come around. They've got a problem here. Oscar McDonald with Will Hoskin Elliott is a massive issue. You just look at Hoskin Elliott put 30 metres on him on the way back. He wasn't used on this occasion. He's come on with the fresh legs, and that's a quality finish from a young man that gets better and better with every minute that he plays. So if you're on Oscar McDonald, who's been around for a long time, Will Hoskin Elliott's come on. He said, now, come with me, and I'll take you to parts of this ground you don't want to go to. This is a great finish, Geordie.
Yeah, and great contest by McStay. I mean, it was a really dangerous kick. What they haven't done in the first half or the first three quarters, Collingwood, is change the angles. Long was forced back into the middle of the ground, put the ball in a dangerous area.
Biggest margin of the game to either team, 21 points, and we've talked about it all day. Can you pass the Collingwood last quarter test? And guess who? Elliott from Nick Dacos, the usual suspects combined.
Yep.
This is Collingwood at their finest.
Another change or angle kick, and they're dominating out of the centre bounce now with Dacos and Pendlebury getting the job done. It's a kick across the body that finds Ryan out in this occasion. Look at that.
Take a bow, Geordie. This will be, if he kicks this will be 3 goals from 14 possessions in this last quarter.
Massive crowd in at the home of football. Missed it to the near side. Wasn't a big enough kick, wasn't a big enough angle.
So the 22-point margin, biggest in the game. This might be the impetus that the Freo Dockers need to get going, be a bit more aggressive, take the game on, forward handball, run, take a risk. Got to get through. I know it's easier said than done.
This is the ultimate test for the Dockers now as Clark's booming kick into the middle. Tracy had a fair bit of it. O'Driscoll, Sarong worked together. Little hack kick, fisted away by Josh Dacos. Then just bunting it to himself. Johnson did it well in the traffic to Tracy in the middle of the G. Tries to prop it up for Young. Overclubbed the handball. Allen overran it. Young got it to O'Meara. Eyes off the big sticks. O'Meara. Bouncing goal. Missed 2 pairs of hands, and it's a quick reply for the Dockers. Keeps it alive.
Well, they missed a pair of hands at the top of the 50 as well, albeit a Collingwood player. They got lucky there. I mean, the handball from Tracy was at the feet.
Terrible.
Who's at Young? So he doesn't want to bend down and pick that up. But then Allen came through at full steam, which left some space over the back. O'Meara was the one and the beneficiary of that. So it's a good reply. It didn't look pretty. But when O'Meara got his chance inside the forward 50, he was able to salute.
They're just the moments for Ed Allen, though. He's going to look at that. As I said, he's getting better and better. And there's players coming back. He just kicked the great goal. You can't let that ball.
Slow yourself down.
You can't let it get behind you. Tracy was horrible with his hands. You're going to have a look at it, but he missed Charlie Dean, and Harry Perryman didn't get there.
Brilliant from O'Meara. Good plays, 200 from the finals. He's lifted here. Hammers it long. Bolton's forward. Ball eludes a couple. Markov went down low. Perryman wobbles it away. O'Driscoll, Allen. O'Driscoll content there, as Allen was.
Just missed Josh Tracy. Josh Tracy did exactly what Pat Voss did on Darcy Moore in the first two and a half quarters. He came leading up the ground, had 10 metres on him, and they elected to go long to the goal square. That's the composure. See this, just missed it.
Darcy only as far as Long. Allen up against the boundary, tries to direct it back inboard. Hoskin Elliott, no mark, grabbed by Wagner. He was taken, got the handball away. Long Josh Dacos. And a switch towards the members' side bottom. Johnson went down. He looks injured too.
He looks injured too, Johnson.
And he hasn't moved. He's got his lower leg. And the reason is that he put a block on and didn't get back to the ball. That's why they paid the free kick, which is something that they've put up with for a long time. But this is the story. Young man, he was making big strides in his career, looks to be in a lot of trouble. Well, that's a good sign.
He's had a broken bone in his foot before. A teammate stepped on it a few years ago and stopped his progress. Yeah, he's rolled his ankle there.
Wow. He stood on the side of the boot, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. And that was what set him the ground, which is what alerted the umpire to pay the free kick. So no wonder the Pie fans are up in arms a bit.
So, as the boos sound around the MCG, Clark kicked a half forward. Bolton set himself. He was too far back. Josh Dacos. Handball out to Sullivan. And now side bottom and the Pies build.
He's got my check. He wanted to handball to his own disadvantage, really. Switkowski came hard. Side bottom little tap. Toe tap. Nick Dacos likewise. Sarong wrapped up. Got a handball out. Young on the kitchen right now. Switkowski moonwalks his way back to Ryan. He's got the inside kick to Darcy. Not your run and carry guy. Can he give it off? He loads up and launches. Voss is the man of the back. Although Amos jumps in and says, I've got it covered, boys.
Wow.
I'll tell you what.
There was a big shove from Maynard.
From Voss.
From Voss.
Yeah.
But well done to Darcy, though, and well found by Luke Ryan. So rather than go back with Cameron, Darcy said, well, I'm going to stay here. And then you've got a decision to make. And Ryan was able to find Sean Darcy, rather, at the 45 or 50 angle. And here's the resulting shot.
Been good today.
Whoa.
Yes, you can rely on Jai.
Well, it's 2 in a row. So it's an important mark inside forward 50. They got away with one, I think. They got
like a
away
sharp,
with one with Moore and Voss. We'll get a look at it before, but I think what was clever is to bring the ball back inside forward 50. So it was great vision to go to Sean Darcy in the middle of the ground.
You can't move. If you're paying a free kick on this side because you move someone under the footy and don't get back to it, well, there's Voss putting more on the ground, not getting back to the contest. So Amos finishes it off, but I love what Darcy did. Sean Darcy made Darcy Cameron go, oh, do I go all the way back or do I all stay all the way up? And he gets stuck halfway, and Luke Ryan finds him on the way through.
Well, there's Darcy, Luke Jackson, Young and Brayshaw.
After it was 9 points at three-quarter time, it's back to a 10-point ball game at the MCG. Dacos and up and under, it won't be a mark. Spilt ball. Brayshaw grabbed by McCreary. So McCreary urgently off to Lipinski in space. Low ball towards the pocket. Crisp couldn't rake it in. Cox trying to just provide a little bit of a shield for O'Meara, and out it goes.
In rare territory. They're about to break the record for inside 50 tackles. The Collingwood Footy Club, it's 35. Right now, I think they're on 34.
4 goals, 2 from forward half to Collingwood. It's been a good score source for the day.
My check, Darcy. There's a wrestle. There's a tangle. There's a Fremantle free to Darcy.
That was another ruck lotto. Yep.
Out wide to Wagner. Sort of unconventional to play 2 number 1 rucks, but once upon a time it was unconventional to have 2 motors in the 1 car, and now everyone drives hybrid. So Jackson's on the charger right now, ready to come back on and go at the ruck. Luke Jackson. They've got the second weapon. They were 22 points down. It's now a 10-point margin, ball on the wing, and they can win this, Fremantle, if they're good enough and send a statement to the competition. Don't forget about us.
Shea
The
Bolton
stoppage looks open.
and Shea Bolton forward of the foot. He's got to get involved.
Cameron to Dacos, we've said that many times today, down the sternum of Banfield. So Banfield takes on a couple here. Amira, Darcy. And that kick, he pulled the kick, and Moore was in the right spot.
You've got to look for the runners at that occasion. Look for your good ball users. Tracy made good position in behind Moore, but the kick was a poor one.
Down the line it was my check. Nicely delivered.
Darcy Moore's going to be really important here. He's fought back hard in the second half, starting to intercept Mark. Tracy's his opponent. Got to own him and take responsibility.
Middle of the pack, McDonald did well. Cameron went down, McDonald holds it up.
Yeah, I don't think Oscar will be too risky.
Scott Jackson has come up from full forward down the line to go at this. Jackson stands under it, can't get near it. Ball rolls to him though, and he collects and flicks. And Brayshaw hammers it long. Voss, Maynard, Voss!
Huge. The ball inside, again, the ball going inside 50 against this Collingwood defence, the more unpredictable it is, the better it is for the offensive team, because they're the best predictable defending team going around. But when it mungs a bit, it just floats and it drops a bit short, they're a more dangerous proposition.
How about the pick-up and handball from Luke Jackson?
This for his sixth to cut it to a 4-point game. The prancing pony looks okay. The Purple Pony Club, they come from everywhere. Fremantle are one straight kick from the lead.
He's been important. He really has. He started the game on fire. Look at that by Luke Jackson. You blink, you miss it.
Unbelievable.
And that's why Voss gets one-on-one forward of the ball, and Maynard just doesn't have enough time to recover. He's a 6'6" ruckman/midfielder. Watch this. Boom. And they're away.
Beautiful little left-hander to Tracy to Brayshaw. So game on. So they've been in the competition 30 years. All these expansion or introductory teams have had premierships, and now they've got a chance to make a statement here at the MCG on the 20th of July against the ladder leader. They're fighting hard. They've got work to do.
The prancing pony, more like a strapping colt today. Back in the middle, Darcy down to Sarong.
How many times have Collingwood been in this position? Right here.
They feel comfortable.
They love living in this.
Sarong tackled, got a little kick away. Long and O'Meara, Long won it. Then he took it to ground and a ball up.
Just wonder whether Shea Bolton is better around the ball rather than deep forward. 11 minutes to go.
Charlie Dean on to Voss now. He's seen off Moore and Maynard.
Darcy had a fresh airy. Crowd wanted dropping the ball, nothing doing. Chris tried to flick it out, then Sarong grabbed it, and another stalemate went out.
So in around these clinches is what's so critical. This is where Collingwood tend to do a lot of their damage.
29 possessions, Sarong. McCreary out of the middle. Sullivan rolls it forward. The chaos ball. Ryan slapped on by Elliott. My check lurking. Bangs it around the body. Oh, wow. He got it to move. The body language as he bent to try and get it to move a little more. Didn't quite get it through.
I'll tell you who would be relieved, Oscar McDonald. He went up to impact the other contest, and my check just ducked out the back.
Territory's everything here. Get inside 50, you're a chance to score both sides.
Ryan goes down the spine. Moore didn't mark. Perryman throws it on the boot over the top of Elliott. Juggling Mark Ryan.
He's been awesome.
He's done some fantastic things today and plays on quickly to Brayshaw. Brayshaw finds Frederick. He's got O'Driscoll all on his own wider. He goes straight ahead to Reid, leading the sandwich, but did it well. And then kept the ball moving. Looks inboard with a chip towards Brayshaw, but Maynard, like a ram, was coming through and stole it. Had a bounce, didn't really work. Then got it to Schultz. He was able to gather. Back to Maynard. Wasn't that clean. Then the kick's been coughed up and out of play. But Did he pat it deliberately? Yes, he did.
He did. I thought he did a terrific job to recover, Murphy Reid.
Yeah. He's into the Collingwood dugout as well. He looks a little hurt. He's hit the bench, Murphy Reid. I think he's hit a chair. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
And
he's in some
computer.
trouble. He's up now.
It wasn't the right decision going inside or just outside forward 50, but gee, he made up for it.
Gee, that chair was like the immovable object, but it still rattled.
Maynard Long, who's going to rise here? Big Clark Jackson. And he played on. And now he's gone. That's ball.
Wow. Now there's a decision. He faked the handball. Did he come forward off the mark is what we've got to decide. You're allowed to shake the handball, aren't you?
Well, he better not point at the screen.
So, did he move left or right, or did he just think about it with a hand out?
He shaped the handball for sure. Did he go forward? He took a step.
Oh, my goodness. The netball step.
Well, that hasn't been paid.
The footy got to here. This one's going to go down to the wire. You can feel it. My check. In his return game, it's been a star. He sets it up long, and there is one straight kick. The difference.
Equalled the forward 50 record tackles ever. 35 for the Magpies. More to come, you'd think. What a
Just an
game.
update from Fremantle. Matthew Johnson is out of the game with that ankle injury he sustained earlier.
And we thought it was a good turnout. 62,198 today. High ball to the wing. Tracy not quite. Down to Young. Hoping for Switkowski. Went without it, but it was grabbed by Jackson. And then Sarong pummels the handball to Frederick from 48 metres out. The kick's offline.
He had Voss on as well. So right now what Collingwood do so well is they're composed. So going inside forward 50 composed. This is what Fremantle need to have in their game. He's Voss in the right pocket.
Sarong gets there to compete against McStay. O'Driscoll was brilliant. Fast Freddie, slick. Sarong, this time not quite.
Well, you've got a man that's got 6 standing at the top of the square with Isaac Quaynor, who's been burnt the last 2 inside 50s, which is what you're talking about, Geordie. So they kept peppering, they're coming forward, they've got opportunities, and they made poor decisions.
So Dean's kick to the hot spot. Off the hands of Jackson and out.
You can't be desperate going inside forward 50. There will be options.
Terrific game of football. Atmosphere's been outstanding all day. It's entertained us every second. Cameron down, Young couldn't quite. Then side bottom, under pressure, flicked it up in the air and worked out. Long saw it out and a throw in.
4th season as coach for Craig McRae. You've seen this movie before. Justin Longmuir, 6th season as coach. Finals only 1 time in 5 seasons so far. Sarong threatening to be the hero. Quaynor knocked it down. Markov, caught by Switkowski. Gently rolled. All up.
I'll tell you what, the benches are interesting. Nick Dacos, Brainer Maynard, McCreary, Elliott for Collingwood. Bolton for Fremantle. Match winners.
Cameron crisp, tried to thread the needle. Banfield got the loose ball and then sets it up towards Voss, almost Mark Quaynor. Pendlebury hatches over the top. Brayshaw tries to steal the ball.
Great effort, Quaynor. Great effort, Quaynor. That was beautifully put for Patrick Voss to run and jump at, and Quaynor puts his body on the line.
Perfect spot for a ball up here for Fremantle. They're lurking. Markov backed into a jam for the handball out. Dean, side bottom, crisp. That's Collingwood to a tee. They knew they could work it to the boundary, work it out, start again.
Territory's not a problem this quarter from a Freo point of view, so it's now starting to live in their half. Can they make something happen?
Cameron makes sure he was at the front. Crisp tries to go round the corner. Bouncing ball. Grabbed by Hoskin Elliott, who made an instant impact since coming on. Crisp's kick. Not read by Myercheck, and it was Cox.
They continue to watch the ball, Cox.
So down the line, Darcy Cameron's the one who's got to be engaged. Jackson comes up.
So Cox with the long ball to the congestion. Jackson not quite. Reed then Just patted forward by Crisp, and then long round the corner. Bouncing ball, Cox with more work to do. Myercheck grabbed him but got him high.
That's some good moments. Cox against an outstanding player.
That's some good craft. He's got a 4-goal game to his name as a forward as well. He kind of knows what the forward's thinking.
Still trying to get Bolton on as well. Dacos still on the bench. Great kick.
Young got it from Banfield and goes. Heads long. Couldn't quite get it to Voss.
Wow.
Jackson. Phenomenal.
Well, get it in the hands of Hayden Young. Now, did he... Well, you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, Geordie. That kick there from Banfield is what they're screaming out for, because they can't just keep going back to congestion. And then Young, off the line.
I don't think he meant
It's
it.
his comeback game, so I'm being generous. But what a kick this is, to put them in front at the MCG with under 6 minutes to go.
Been in the comp since 95. You said they've never won a flag, Fremantle. How big is this moment for them? Jackson, cool hand, Luke.
Great call, Pine. Great call. And what a kick from Luke Jackson. Actually, 3 kicks. That's what footy's all about. When Banfield, under pressure, under 6 minutes to go, they're behind. Picks off Hayden Young in the middle of the ground. And then Young swings onto a left foot, delivers a 50-metre dart that may or may not have been meant for Luke Jackson. Doesn't matter. He goes back and kicks a goal from outside 50. What a passage of play for Fremantle to find themselves in front for the first time, I think, for the game. Is that right, you two gurus?
No, they've been in front before.
Have they?
Well, I think you're right. I think you're correct in the Banfield kick. You've got to understand the risk and understand the time of the game, and time was running out.
Dacos and Shea Bolton both out in the middle for this centre bounce. They're back on the ground.
They've been in front before,
Power.
Gary, but it was a long time ago. It was at the end of the first quarter. So back in the middle, Sarong's hurried ball. Now Collingwood have been thrown the challenge. Long grab by Bolton. Then Cameron on the ground already. Brayshaw goes into assist.
So the tackling pressure here is off the charts. The pressure's off the charts. This is where Collingwood are so cool in the crisis, and Freo got to match it. They're going to keep their head here.
Darcy down, only as far to Nick Dacos and Josh Dacos then with the sky ball. Voss was quite clever there to O'Meara. Now Voss has got it. Too far out to score, looks pocket. Over kicks it, hoping for Young and out.
Yeah, so Young is resting forward. It's not the delivery Voss has been getting all day.
Too much adrenaline for Pat Voss there. He had too much of that coursing through his veins to be able to pull that kick up. It's right where they want it, though. Lock it in here.
Voss has 6. And he's lurking here as Darcy does the right work. Side bottom just hacks it long. Can Ryan get there? Bouncing ball. He does, but he's content to see it out and they can reset.
How perfect's that? From the side bottom to be able to get it out of their defensive 50 and not deliver it away in the process. This is danger time for the Fremantle Dockers here. The run and carry from Collingwood from stoppage.
Sarong, O'Meara, round the body, Tracy in the front spot. Reid was lurking, Pendlebury's been grabbed.
Huge.
Holding the football.
One of the youngest on the ground against one of the eldest.
Yep, game 17 up against game 418.
Just a lazy 400 difference. This bloke's got a cool head on his shoulders, Geordie. He makes good decisions.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the distance in him, though.
I don't think he has, but he does make good decisions. So he's taken the 30 seconds, which he has to.
Josh Tracy has made his way down there.
So Reid will be kicking this from about 55 metres, even more. Then he's just going to poke it towards the square. It almost found Tracy. Then he has to go scurrying after it. Picked up by Young. Young throws it on the boot. It's not going to score.
The kick was that good that it surprised Tracy in the end. It just got over the top of Isaac Quainer. He should have marked it on his chest, Josh Tracy.
They were 22 points down, Fremantle, early in this term. They've kicked the last 4 goals of this game.
Wow. They're coming to the open side. They're going to challenge big time.
Nick Dacos to side bottom. Experience there. Held his ground, held off O'Driscoll and then held the mark. chip to Maynard.
Watch this one nearly go direct towards goal. Straight back into the middle. Lipinski's the one you're looking at.
4 minutes left, 1 point down. And Jackson's been the difference maker. He hassles it to the line. Ball in. And he gives Maynard a little tap on the way through.
What about his moments in this last quarter, Luke Jackson? Unbelievable.
Rising star in 2021. Now playing like a man as Sarong. His handball slapped away by Sidebottom. Collingwood trying to win the football with Nick Dacos. He kept it in play. He's so clever. His handball errant though. Sarong almost cut it off. Pendlebury, long, Elliott.
Keep your head, keep your head, keep your head. And Collingwood are the best composed team, or most composed team in footy. We'll have a look after this kick at the boundary play. Nick Dacos 2v1. And the mistakes made by Fremantle in not trying to kill that contest. The ball stays alive. Game on the line. Who else do you want the ball in the hands of?
He's kicked 2 today. 13th year in the AFL. Jamie Elliott. He starts it right, and it stays right, and scores a level with 2:46 left on the clock.
Gee whiz. Be composed, be composed. That's all it is.
It's like what Pot was saying before. Fremantle, you do not need to rush. You need to be the side that scores next.
It's a 2.5 minute game now. Jackson stalking it. Gets up! Couldn't quite. Hits the deck. Side bottom. Pendlebury, the usual suspects. Opens it up in the middle. Hunted down with Dean. Twitkowski. Sarong. Hunted down from behind. Got it away to Voss. Frederick. Fast Freddy's out the back if they can get it to him. Looping handball. Bolton will do. Feeds it wide. O'Meara. And he's scored that lead. Free kick.
Free kick, Bolton back here. Game on the line, free kicks to say Bolton.
Didn't Frederick take off?
What about the composure though? You talked about it, we talked about it. Caleb Sarong didn't panic. You just thought, oh, he's going to kick the footy away here with numbers behind the ball. The free kick to Shane Bolton has been played high against Chris.
The boos ring around the MCG. Take a breath.
And you want to get ready and set up if he misses.
Any score and they'll lead. But as Gary said, a behind gives the ball back to Collingwood to win it with 90 seconds left. A goal would be massive. He sends it goalwards. It's a behind. Over to you, Collingwood. Fremantle lead. Collingwood have 1:28 left for the big steal.
Usual suspects, Pendlebury, Nick Dacos. They're the ones you're going to keep an eye on. He'll go again, Nick.
So Dacos down the line, no mark from Cameron. Fremantle will have the ball again. Voss's hack kick, it's a bouncing ball. Picked up by Dean. Josh Dacos has to be fast. He got rid of it. Dean's there for help. Out to Quaynor. Nick Dacos off the half-back flank. Young with the smother, crucial. Switkowski comes in. Gave it to Young. Young's low ball. Coughed up to Moore. Moore plays on quickly. Leaves D50 and came out to Crisp on the wing. And now plays on to Nick Dacos.
Long kick. We've got the finish to middle. Finishes here. Big collision. Collingwood need a goal from the scramble. The seconds tick.
Oh, did he dive on it, O'Driscoll?
Gee, that is desperation. Both teams.
There's been three different scenarios where they've lost composure, both sides.
Seconds start ticking again. Clearance could be the difference. Neither team get it.
Well, this is if you're Fremantle, keep the ball in. If you're Collingwood, you need to get it to the open side. Nick Dacos is just waiting at the back of the stoppage.
Darcy, Pendlebury, Pendles, of course, couldn't thread it through. Brayshaw holds his ground. Sarong's been epic. How good's he been?
Massive, big moment.
How good has Sarong been? The biggest stage in football, and he stood up today and shown the world Caleb Sarong.
Josh Dacos off the back of the pack.
Everybody grits their teeth with 24 seconds left. Flicked inside forward 50 for Collingwood. Lipinski, Dacos, Elliott. He goes without it. No free kick. Comes out to Schultz. Schultz round the corner. Clock ticking. Is it the marks? Saving grab it is.
Game over.
Tracy with the mark.
Get out of it. Get out of it. Leave Darcy.
Adrenaline pumping everywhere.
And 50.
But Tracy's got a free kick.
3-1.
It's going down the ground. And it's going to be a Freo win if they hold on to it for 8 seconds.
This is as big as you can remember here for the Freo Footy Club.
So Tracy switches out to Brayshaw. And there it is. There it is. They've passed the test. It is a colossal result for Fremantle. They've beaten Collingwood at the Coliseum.
You want to play with the grown-ups, then you do what Fremantle have just done then. They're out of the craze. They're in with the big boys right now. They've taken on Collingwood at the MCG to lock away final spots. I know they've got work to do, but just how much do you take out of a game like that, Geordie?
Well, you're coming up against the ladder leaders who, as we said during that fourth term, they love living in the space of close games. And I think when you review the tape, there's been some big efforts and some big moments by some Fremantle players.
And Sarah Jones has got one of them. I'm telling you what, Dwayne called it. This man who's with Sarah Jones was heroic in the last 10 minutes.
He certainly was. Gaz, Caleb Sarong, talk to us about the atmosphere here at the MCG right now. You have passed the test with flying colours.
What a crowd. Doesn't matter what the makeup was of the crowd, what percentage. It was intense and it was loud, and the atmosphere in that last quarter especially was unbelievable. So credit to the boys. Like, that first 3 quarters, they had us on the ropes, I reckon, for 90 minutes. Like, the way that our backs were able to stand up, and then we knew we were going to be able to get a look if we just stuck in there and just grinded it out. And yeah, credit to the forwards. Every time we got it in there, they gave us a pretty good contest.
You would have known Collingwood's record in these close games, and you would have known that they'd play it out right to the end. But what gave you the confidence that you could do it too?
Last 6 weeks, last 8 weeks, we've run out games extremely well, and we often talk about it. We feel like we work bloody hard, and the pre-season we put ourselves through the paces and we work extremely hard and push each other, and we feel like we're a really fit team, and we just need an opportunity to show it. And today we stuck in there for those first 3 quarters when it wasn't going our way, and we knew if we just stuck in there, our fitness was going to be able to come out on top at the end. But it was only by a little bit. Collingwood are incredible. They're the best team in the comp and doing it for the last 3 years. So I think we've got a lot more to prove, but it showed that we're able to do it.
Can you sense how huge this is in the context of your season?
You want to build belief, and we talk about it. We talk about trusting our game plan, trusting each other, trusting that what we do stands up. And today, like, sometimes you can talk about it, but actions are what really turn belief. And I think these are one of those wins that really makes you start believing that you're capable. Like, you just got to give yourself a chance, and today we did that.
Sensational win. Go and enjoy it with the boys. Well done.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you. 12 disposals, 7 contested possessions and 4 score involvements for Caleb Sarong in that last quarter. And you talk about coaching and when to pull the trigger and when not to pull the trigger. We've been sitting there saying, what are they doing with Hayden Young? What are they doing with Hayden Young? Well, I reckon they got it right, Geordie, because his last quarter was massive as well. He had 7 touches, 4 score involvements. So Justin Longmuir's had a great afternoon here. And they were led brilliantly by, we talk about Tracy, we talk about Amos, we talk about their forward line, Shea Bolton, these big names. Well, today, Patrick Foster's walking off the MCG with six to his name, Sarah Jones.
He certainly is. 6 goals. What a haul, what a win. How are you feeling after what was a brilliant game?
Yeah, intense game, but unbelievable. Couldn't ask for anything better. Unbelievable crowd. Just so proud of the boys to get the win. It's so good.
You had the hot hand early. How much confidence did that give you for your own game? The fact that you had Darcy Moore's measure, they had to throw different players at you, and you were able to get on top.
It was off the back of their ball movement. I think we moved the ball really well today. The boys got it in well, worked well as a forward group. We've been really selfless the last couple of weeks with JT and Jai down there, and just my turn to get the lick of the ice cream this week.
I just spoke to Caleb Sarong. His work in the middle was outstanding, particularly late. How inspiring is it to have a guy like him, a warrior really in the clinches?
Oh, unbelievable. We had a massive contest on the wing to bring him to ground. He's an absolute warrior week in, week out. Absolutely love playing with him.
So you've got the Derby next week and the run home. We know the implications, the top 8, etc. But to beat Collingwood on their home ground at the MCG, do you feel like this could be a big turning point in the season?
Yeah, 100%. Massive beat. Haven't looked too far ahead. Try not to look at the ladder, but we know every game counts this year, and to get the 4 points against the Pies, unbelievable.
What about Hayden Young's return? Obviously, he's been out for a while with that hamstring injury. He was involved in some clutch moments late. So good for him to get back. What was your reaction?
Yeah, there's no one better to kick your foot in than Youngie. I tried to kick it to him late there and went over the top of his head, so I probably owe him one. But he's massive for us. It'll be so good to get him back and up and going, playing a full game next week, hopefully.
Luke Jackson's also massive. Some of his work below his knees, but what about that goal he kicked late?
Yeah, I was bloody absolutely praying he was going to kick that late, and he's so reliable in front of goal. He's the absolute unicorn.
Well, you have been reliable in front of goal yourself. I keep up the great work.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It's a good interview, good insight. He's surely making a name for himself in that Ford 50. That the 3 big boys down there. He's right. Sometimes it might not be his turn, it's someone else's, but he's certainly stepped up today. I mean, two big physical games the last couple of weeks. 5-1 their last 6 weeks, so they've been able to overcome some really tough opponents in Hawthorn and now Collingwood at the MCG.
6-2 against the big dogs.
Yep.
So you talk about credibility and heading towards big finals. They were headed. Ed Allen kicks that goal. 22-point margin against the best closing team in the competition, and they kick 4 unanswered. O'Meara, Amos, Voss, and then the clutch goal from Johnson, which that play will go down. That will be replayed over and over and over. Jackson Banfield into the middle to Young to Jackson. Jackson takes the mark inside 50, calmly goes back and drills a goal to put him in front.
Yeah, and I think Sarong's right. Like, you're constantly searching for games that give you the confidence to know that you can mix it with the big boys. There's no tougher asking football at the moment to come over here against Collingwood at the MCG with 60,000 Collingwood fans, and not only that, but in a tight game, make really good decisions for the ball. So, I mean, that 3.5 hour plane ride on the way home, they will be really satisfied.
You've seen a lot of footy, Dwayno, and Matty, I'm sure. Some wins, there's wins and there's wins, and this is one of those wins.
Well, there's a few teams in the queue. The Suns want to win a flag, the Giants want to win a flag, but 30 years, they've done their time, Fremantle, and I think the footy world would almost be happy to see this team grow the way we're seeing them grow to the point that they're a contender again this season.
Yeah, and they're going to belt this song out. The replay for Fremantle fans, not for Collingwood supporters, I wouldn't think, who were brave, the Magpies, don't worry about that, but that last 10 minutes is something that you've got to try and bottle and harness, because what you saw in the last 10 minutes is the sort of football, the commitment, the willingness to put your body on the line that'll win you big finals. And that's what this team's got to be all about now. That man coming back makes a huge difference, Hayden Young. Gives them a different look, a different complexity through the middle of the ground, and capability to do something. Like, you imagine this wins on the Optus Stadium over in Perth. It's going bonkers. It would be back over in Perth. You should be proud of your football club, Fremantle supporters, because this is a hostile environment when the Magpie Army come to town, and you've had to come from behind to knock them over.
Yeah, there is about 62,000 of them in the MCG. Don't forget, Adelaide Gold Coast is on as well. She'd have to be good to beat what we just had at the MCG, one of the games of the year, if not the game of the year so far. They are going to belt this out with gusto. The Fremantle Knockers with a massive 1-point win over the league leaders.
All right, so there we go, folks. That is game, set, match. What a fantastic game by the umpires today. Oops, sorry. I meant by Freo today. Of course, Team Dockers Freo, they got the job done over the Magpies. Now, look, all in all, let's be serious. It was a great effort by Freo. Of course, we know the Pies didn't play up to their best, but that's, that's all right. That's football. You win some, you lose some. But the Dockers were good. This was good to, for all Dockers supporters to see this team finally put up like a four-quarter effort and the resilience they showed in that final quarter. And, of course, the big man, Jackson, that's what I was saying three-quarter time, if he lifts, he needs to lift, and he did certainly that in the final term. He could have been the difference. That could have gone either way, that game. There was a free kick there given, which was absolute garbage, but Darcy dropped a sitter. Elliott missed one. Myercheck hit the post. It could have gone either way. But I tell you what, at least it was a good game. It was exciting. We enjoyed it, no matter whether our team lost or your team won. Addy's rich. He come home with the big bucks. Well done, Addy. Good stuff. But there we go. Yeah, I think we need subtitles for the Freo theme song. I tell you what, go Lions. Thanks for the live. Hey, Raylene, shout out. How you doing? Good on you, Sky. The theme song for the new clubs are pretty ordinary. Like Freo, Gold Coast, Port Adelaide, I think. Who knows what Tasmania's theme song's going to be? That's going to be interesting. That is for sure and certain. But look, it was a good game. It was exciting. Hey, it came down to a point. So, it's better a point than 50 or 60 point margin like the other game. But that's all right. Hey, we're going to cross over to the next game in just a minute. But before we go, let's just have a look at some of the stats before we quickly duck over, because the other game is just about ready to start. Yeah, we're still for. I think Collingwood play Richmond next week, so that'll keep them on top of the table. I think Brisbane's got a tough game, and I think Freo should have a solid win against West Coast, I think, next week. So, as I said in the live chat, folks, I think this is the game. This is the game where Fremantle will look back on and go, you know what? That win got us into the finals this year. I think this is one of those moments for Fremantle. Especially when you finish ninth and you think, if we'd have won that one game, that close game, that would have got us in. I think this is a game the Fremantle will certainly look back on. Yeah, Collingwood lost 2 in a row, still on top. Look, last week was, they were never up there to win last week, especially starting Pendlebury on the sub. This week they certainly wanted to win, but they're off their game at the moment. They're certainly off their game, and of course, like that being said, it's good to play the good sides running into the finals. This is exactly what I was saying earlier on. You've got to play good against the good teams. There's no point playing great football against the bottom sides. You've got to play it against the good teams. This is why it benefits you to play the better sides running into the finals. Paddy Voss did the job. 6 goals for Freo from 10 kicks. Fantastic effort. There we go. Hey, Kevy Bars, the Lions fan. I'm happy Collingwood lost. Cheers for that. No worries. Hey, it's you win some, you lose some. But I tell you what, I think a lot of the teams in the top 8 are pretty happy Freo won as well, because that keeps the Western Bulldogs struggling to get into the top 8. Who else? Jai Miss got 2. Caleb Sarong got 1. O'Meara got 1. Luke Jackson got 1. And Sean Darcy got 1 for the Dockers. For the Pies, side bottom, Myercheck, Elliott got 2. Sullivan, Schultz, Will Hoskin, Elliott, Dacos, and Allen got 1. The disposal getters out on the ground. Nick Dacos, 43 touches. Well, he nearly, that's not a bad effort, 43. Just couldn't quite get the job done, though, for the Pies. 28 kicks, 15 handballs, 4 marks, 7 tackles, 9 clearances, and a goal. Of course, these two players led the possessions all night, all day long. Caleb Sarong, fantastic game from him. Also, he's a bit of a star, isn't he, for Freo? 37 touches, 9 clearances, and a goal. Well done to you as well. Let's just quickly roll down, because they have just started the third quarter over there. Adelaide Oval. 59 Adelaide, 4 points Gold Coast. Three-quarter time has just started. Gold Coast only 4 points. Holy Toledo. Just quickly going through the stats there. I won't read them all out, and I'll just run through them. So if you want to have a little bit more of a look, you can just pause them or just rewind and pause them and have a quick look. There we go. So the Dockers did actually pretty good. The Magpies, 63 inside 50s. Dockers only 40. But it was the third quarter where the Pies got so many, and the Dockers' defence was so good in that third term. So that was fantastic. Free kicks, 24-20. But 5 of those free kicks for the Dockers resulted in goals, I think, which got them across the line. There we go. The hit-outs to Pies. The clearances to Pies by 4. Contested possessions, 20 plus to the Pies. Uncontested, plus 25 to the Dockers. Pretty high turnover game from both sides, 62-75. Dockers, they were plus 24 in the marks. Both teams had plenty of opportunities when they did mark inside 50, 8-9 in there. Just jumped down to the tackle count. Big number of tackles there for both teams, 86-65. I think the Pies set a record for inside 50 tackles, 35. Freo 9. This is one part of the game Freo could probably work on a little bit there, inside 50 tackles. But that is the stats. I think that the ladder has been adjusted, and there we go. Freo jump up into 7th spot. They are 7th, Freo. Can you believe it? 48 points. They are now a game clear of 8th. 2 games clear of 9th. So that could just about cement Freo into the top 8 for the finals run. Gold Coast getting an absolute smashing at the moment. No chance of winning this game, but the Gold Coast do have a game in hand. So that is where it's vitally important that Freo got the job done for that 2 games clear, because that percentage really hurts Fremantle, 108.9, especially with the Bulldogs at 127. So the Fremantle can only afford to drop 1 game from the Dogs. So at least they got that booster there, which is really, really helpful, that 2 games. But there we go. That is the game. Whew. Hey, thanks everyone for coming on in. All the new supporters out there, everyone who's subbed to the channel, don't forget to hit the like and all that type of jazz. If you want to jump on over to the next game, we'll listen to the next game. Over there at Adelaide Oval, it's 18 minutes to go in the third term. It's Adelaide 10-5-65. Gold Coast Suns 4 behinds, 4 points. Holy Toledo, 4 behinds. And it's in the third quarter. What is Gold Coast doing? I don't know, but Adelaide. Tell you what, Adelaide are definite contenders this year as well. But a fantastic game, of course. 62,000 people witnessed this game out of the MCG today, where it was the Dockers in, well, I'll tell you what, it was one of the best victories in this season for them. 12-7-79, defeating the Pies, 11-12-78. You know, if we take away the umpires' bad decisions and all that, terrible play, good play, all that, at the end of the day, the Dockers were just too good for the Pies and got the job done. As they said, the Pies got out to 22 points in front in that final term. So for the Dockers to come back from there, it was a fantastic effort by them. And I think, I tell you what, should be mighty proud of the Dockers for achieving this victory tonight by a point. I tell you what, there's nothing better than beating a side by a point. And the Dockers did that tonight. All right, folks. Hey, Mike and I going to the pub. Sounds like a plan. Adrian's coming too, because he won all the money on Freo. And he's rich. He's rich now. Here's the big winner on Freo. Sana all Eddie. You're the big winner on Freo today. All right. Hey, that's all I've got for... We need to get... I was actually disgusted with our performance. Oh, look, our performance was... as I was saying about halftime, the Pies were going at 30%. 30%. They probably lifted to about 50. They probably lifted to 60%. Their skill set was just atrocious today. Their skills were just atrocious. They'll be looking at... most definitely the way they went inside forward 50. That was just atrocious. They were just bombing the ball in. As I said, was it half time? Half time or three-quarter time? Three-quarter time. Freo defence players, they were just licking their chops every time it went in Collingwood's forward 50 because they knew exactly what was going to happen, and it continued to happen. And yeah, it just wore the Pies down. The Pies come alive in spring. That's it. Pies will get back on track next week against Richmond, and the Dockers should again have victory against West Coast next week. But there we go. Fantastic game. Thanks to everyone for coming in. We'll cover the last quarter and a half over there at the Adelaide and Gold Coast game. This is an absolute shellacking. The Gold Coast Suns are copping. Adelaide are 11-5-71. Gold Coast 5 behinds. There we go. About 16 minutes to go in the third term. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Addy is loving. He is. You know, look, Addy's normally on the worst end of it with Freo in some of these close losses, but they got. Look, it was a fantastic win by him tonight. So well done to the Dockers. All right, folks, that's it. I'm out. Ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game. All right, I'm going to end and I'll head on over for the next game. We'll get the last quarter and a half into that and we'll go and listen to that one. All right, folks, catch you later. Thanks, everyone, for coming on in. Always appreciate it. Meow, ciao. Sana all. Sana all. All right, folks, hey, I'll catch you over at the next game. See you later.